Good afternoon and nice to be with you on Saturday Grandstand. Round 5 in the VFL, and for our match of the day we're going out to City Oval in Box Hill for a clash between Box Hill and Coburg. Time now to join Clinton GRYBAS, Phil Cleary, Ross Booth for a fabulous afternoon of footy. Clinton, great to see you again, and a warning about this afternoon, you've got a man with a lot of bias sitting next to you.
Oh, Beverly, it has been remarkable just the build-up to us arriving here at the commentary box. This man, we need a seatbelt for him, Beverly. He's almost excited as I believe you were in New Zealand last week, whitewater rafting and everything. How did you survive?
I just did. It was quite a sensational experience. As Aussies, you don't often think of New Zealand as a tourist destination, but it was fabulous, absolutely sensational.
Are you back for good now? Because you've been having a holiday every second week.
I'm not leaving the seat for the rest of the year. And what a great score for women. Finally been recognised there as a goal umpire last night.
Oh, what about the style of that woman? But I didn't get to see her hairstyle, though, under that cap. I think they could at least show us how she looked.
Yeah, the cap look once removed is not a good idea, I can tell you.
But you did a great job, Bev.
Indeed. You have a great call, fellas.
All right, thanks very much, Bev. Well, Phil, I know you are excited in terms of Coburg. You coached them for 9 years, couple of premierships, 200-plus games, but you were there last Sunday when they won their first match of the season. What were they like there in that last quarter?
Oh, well, the last quarter was exhilarating. It was played in pretty difficult conditions. The ground was a bit damp. They were kicking into a breeze, and they just came home with such spirit, you know. And we had a past players there, the boys from 88, and it was just tremendous, you know. So it was a great game. It was disappointing for Port, but I think it augurs well. I think they'll be very competitive here today, you know, against another young side in Box Hill.
Well, the VFL moving to a top 6 this year, I guess it does open up an extra space in terms of the ladder. 6 of the 11 teams make the finals. And I know Box Hill and Coburg, they're both meant to be down the bottom of the ladder, but whoever wins today have got a couple of wins on the board and they can start thinking about trying to squeeze in.
Well, that's right. You know, hope springs eternal, doesn't it? With a 6er, keeps you alive. You know, you can struggle during the year and maybe put it together at a certain time, like Sandy put it together at the right time of the year last year. So any side thinks, well, if we get to the 6, you know, hang in there, bit of a chance. So, look, a lot of these games will be like finals.
It will.
You know, so we're a great day here and on a different side of the ground today, and innovation on ABC Sport.
Indeed. Let's have a look at the VFL ladder up to this point of time. You can see there Frankston, the only unbeaten team at this stage of the season. Everyone has a win, which is a great looking ladder, Phil, isn't it? So even.
Yes, it is. I mean, that Frankston side looks pretty ominous, but gee, Werribee, you know...
They looked ominous last year.
Well, that's right. So, yeah, it's great to see things nice and tight, and you know, in a sense, I sort of like that final 6. You know, I think you've got to earn a premiership, but 6 opens it up, and then you see Coburg and Box Hill. But as I said, Coburg's performance last week belied its position on the ladder, and we know, of course, Box Hill the same. They had a big win against Port in the first game, so who knows?
And the leading goal kickers, Danny Del Rey with 6 for Williamstown last week in our feature match, moved ahead of Shane Smith of Springvale, who booted 4. And as you can see there, Coburg, Anthony Alessio in with 8 goals, but he's their leading goal kicker at the moment. And for Box Hill, to this point of time, no one has scored more than 4 goals. It's been a remarkable season.
Well, that's right, but Wilkinson is a key player on their forward half, as is Alessio at centre-half forward or full forward for Coburg. So they're 2 of the more brilliant high-marking players in the competition. 2 to watch.
Here's some of the scenes from the dressing rooms at the moment. You see the Box Hill team warming up. And what about the inexperience, though, Phil, of the Coburg side? Only 5 of the players out there have played 20-plus games. It's remarkable to think how inexperienced they are.
Well, it's quite a turnabout, you know. It's a rebuilding phase as we look at the Box Hill side. There's some well-placed players there. Heaney's played a lot of good footy. Crowley the same. O'Neill, a good player. Nicol the same. And then you see Wilkinson up on the forward line. Aiello crossed over from Preston. He formerly came from Coburg. Slater's a tall. Douglas. So Tranquilli from AFL footy. Disney. That's got a fair bit of talent in there. You'd say on paper more experience than the Coburg side, which we see there.
And the Coburg side, as you mentioned, a very inexperienced side as we see them lining up there. David Weston, he's one of almost the veterans of the team. He's 22 years old.
Yes, and look, I must say, Alan Izzard last week in the middle, the former Essendon champion, started his career at Coburg in 1983, Alan Izzard. I played with him that year, and he did really well for the Lions in the centre bounces when it counted. Duncan was good, and Taranto worked hard. So, any possibility?
It promises to be a great game. Well, Ross Booth is on the boundary line. Ross, there was a bit of a breeze blowing during the reserves game this afternoon. What's it like at the moment?
Yes, nice sunny conditions, as you can see, but there is a bit of a breeze, a 2-goal breeze from the south, the northern end of the ground to the right of the screen. And a big surprise, John Murphy's lining up with Darren Wilkinson, the captain, number 7. He's lining up on Anthony Alessio. I guess he's at full forward, but he's really around that forward pocket. So that's a big one. And Phil, all for you. Second week in a row, umpire 23, Jason Quigley.
Well, thanks for that, Ross. Yes, along with Keith Callahan and Matthew Head. And we are underway. Coburg kicking to the right of screen, and that's a deep kick towards full forward. The flyer was gilping up, couldn't take the mark. It's a very wide ground here at the Box Hill City Oval. They don't want to get trapped up in those pockets. Now McCabe sends that high one towards the direction of Alessio. He can't take it, held without it to Tora. Gets the handball away. They might be able to set something up here. I think that was Izzard snapping on goal. And he's just missed to the left-hand side. It all happened very, very quickly, but the centre break's always important. Coburg getting the break there.
Yes, well, an interesting move with Alessio being picked up by Wilkinson, but that's a good move in a sense, because Alessio is a real driver for the Coburg side, and we'll have a look at that contest as it unfolds.
Now, direct kick. The target there was Slater. Had it punched away. Still a chance nonetheless for the Box Hill team. That kick was touched off the boot. Coburg, they've started impressively even at this early stage. They force it forward. Oh, almost to Tora. Forces the contest. The hand pass comes out. Another looping handball over the top. This should be the chance. Steading is Sutherland, and he puts it through for the goal. And what a start for the Coburg side in the opening minute. 2 shots on goal. And John Sutherland gets his first, and Coburg on the board first.
Well, I tell you what, haven't they looked spirited, Clinton? You know, their interceptions have been very good, and their handball's been smart and very experienced stuff for a young side. That was clever, thoughtful handball there by the various players. I think Nunciato there was a key player. He held onto the ball, set it up nicely. And that man there, Sutherland, kicking a nice goal. Good start.
So, back in the centre, Slater, number 23 for Box Hill, seemed to have first purchase on it, but we'll have a secondary bounce in the middle. It's not that cold. I think those folks have come from a warmer climate, perhaps. It's a beautiful day for football here at Box Hill City Oval. From the bounce, Slater palms it down anyway. They scrambled up to centre-half forward, leaping forward, and a good diving mark is taken by Andrew Nicol. Chance to send Box Hill deep to full forward. Coburg there in front, forcing it down was Budge. Squeezes out the back of the pack. Oh, risky handball. Tranquilli's there, well tackled. Ball up 15, 20 metres out from Coburg's goal.
And of course, number 22 in the umpire division is Jason Quigley. We don't know if he's related to Mr. Quigley from Ballycus Angel. We'll check that out the final episode tomorrow night. We're in suspense.
We'll talk about it a little later on. It will be gripping as Box Hill have a chance. Good hand pass out, though, I think, by Weston of the Coburg side. Oh, almost thrown out of the back of the pack. Another possession for Izzard. It's a kick beyond the defensive 50, but Brett Harton is there, formerly of East Perth in WA. Bounces one inside 50 for Box Hill. A good tackle applied on Bello, and it's over the boundary line for a throw-in. Left forward pocket for the Mustangs. Let's have a look at the reserve score, and it was a pretty comfortable win for Box Hill. It was Coburg kicked an early goal late in the last quarter, but Box Hill home by 46 points. From the throw-in, Coburg should be able to clear here. A hand pass over the top. Harton bearing down on Davidson. Ball spills to Tranquilli. Hand pass doesn't find the target. Oh, gee, a couple of turnovers there. Duncan's handball was an ill-directed one. Still a chance for Box Hill, but Izzard.
Yes, he just caught high there. I tell you what, he's been playing pretty good football, Alan Izzard. I think he's around about the 33 mark. Very experienced AFL player. Good in the clinches.
Weston, a blonde Weston this year. Takes the 1-2. Good working midfielder for the Lions with the breeze. Inside 50, but stepping back is Crowley. Takes the clearing mark to this half-back flank. Big wide ground here, the Box Hill City Oval. This is Wilkinson in defence and didn't do it so well. Out on the full, over the fence indeed. There he is, the captain of the Mustangs. Have you mentioned, Clinton, that 4 goals was a leading tally for a Mustang goal kicker, so it's an interesting move by John Murphy. But to counter that great man in Alessio, Lunazanis couldn't get his kick away. It was smothered off the ground, and a throw-in centering by Bello. Yes, I almost drove off the road, Clinton, with 3-0 promoting discussion with Phil Cleary on
breakfast, right? I spoke
Yes.
with Lynn Holtane last week, said Phil's a die-hard Ballycay fan and she's getting him in to analyse tomorrow's gripping season finale. And Phil, just a word, I've been told, will the priest stay a priest? I don't watch it, but will he stay a priest?
I'm not going to tell you yet. I've got to think about that one. But the word postmodern was used in a discussion with someone recently, Roscoe.
Oh, here's a chance for Coburg to go forward. Weston's kick, what's the bounce? It hits the post.
Well, Weston's been a pretty good player this season to us. Last week he was pretty class. He got the blonde hair this year, as Ross Booth pointed out. Ross is a bit of a fashion expert.
Yeah, it's a bit of on the comeback, Phil, I think. Perhaps you and I should try it.
Yes, well, mine's got a fair bit of grey in it, really, when I let it out.
That's
but
why.
still.
That's why you go for the blonde. Jared O'Neill with the kick in. Oh, Alessio. Well, it wasn't a bad choice, was it, Phil, to kick near a man like that?
Yes, not a good choice, really. He is too good overhead, and you see there, nice really covering there by Duncan against Slater. That's a good piece of play by Duncan and the big bloke Alessio. One of the point there, Clinton, too, is O'Neill is not the greatest kick in the world, Roscoe, and I don't think you should have a bloke such as O'Neill kicking out. I think you've got to have a real smart kicker.
Yeah, often it's Troy Heaney, you'd think.
Yes, who is very good. Too far out for Alessio, I suspect, although a little bit of breeze.
Just a stutter on the run-in. So, as you can see, we're on the eastern side of the Box Hill City Oval, the Middleborough Road side. So, Alessio kicking with the breeze to the north of the ground. This Phil's right into the square. Not much of a contest there. They all seem to misjudge it.
Now,
Rush
Roscoe,
behind.
that breeze to the right of screen,
Yeah.
what is it worth? A couple of goals?
There's a couple of goals, quite strong.
Yeah, I see they flags on the old coffee forward there, which we debate so ferociously during a game as to who gets the keys.
Now, Crowley is kicking in this time, Phil.
Yes, well, there you go.
He's going to drive it pretty much straight down the middle, hoping for the high flyer. Slater was there. Coburg forced the ball to ground. I fancy another free kick. Weston again's going to come up with it.
Gee, Phil Wilco didn't get a spoil on that time.
No. Yeah, the free kick's going to Coburg for holding.
Weston towards full forward. Good punch away. The Box Hill defence still under pressure, though. The hand pass comes out by Pepperell. Another hand pass comes the way of Taranto. Gets another hand pass away. Duncan gets it away. Weston over his head. Unsure of what he was trying to do, but it's successful.
Nunziato, I think. Have we got that pronunciation right, or have I got the player right?
Yes, you've got the player right. Renato Nunziato. Gee, this
No.
is an impressive start. They've
Yes.
carried on from that last quarter last week.
What's it called? A papal something. It's very similar.
Encyclical.
Nunziato for goal. As good as directly in front. And he drills it for Coburg's second. And Box Hill have been forward just once in the opening 7.5 minutes. And Coburg out to a very handy break, 2-3 to nothing.
Yes, well, it's a good piece of work by Nunziato. Good work by Izzard there, getting out in the handball, I must say, Clinton. Their in-close handball is very, very good as Duncan
What about this
slips
over
it
the
out.
head? Look at
Yes,
this.
Weston, very smart. And I must tell you that, see, the Italian population out in the north, it's one of the highest populations in Victoria, and plenty of those boys are represented here today.
Look at the Lions with that 15-point lead. The Mustangs yet to score. Not good times for them. Clearing kick from Porter. Doing it hard. Crowley's kick is smothered. Gets out the hand pass quickly. He's searching for Disney in support. Crowley in the middle again. And Bello will be paid the advantage. You're right, Philip. Up inside 50 for one of the few occasions. No mark. The Coburg line defence is very desperate, diving onto it for the Lions is McCarty. Won't come out. And there'll be a bounce at half back. But at least the Mustangs are in their attacking half. Looking a worried gentleman. Must be a Mustang supporter.
So, from the bounce, good climbing high was Nickel to palm it down. Pack of players there. Ball squeezes out. Harton gets a kick away, but it was a throw. So Coburg will take the resultant free on half back.
She's doing all right in the free kicks department, Coburg. Getting plenty.
And they bring the ball towards McCarty on this outer side. He was invited to play on, then he was legged. Gets the hand pass away nonetheless. Budge still in the defensive 50. That was deliberate. Yeah, Box Hill will get the free, but gee, Coburg can consider themselves very unlucky for having it taken away in the first place. Now, gee whiz, they're hot on that, aren't they? Joel Ames's kick partially smothered. Bounces inside 50. Budge pushed off it again. Still a chance for Coburg to defend. Now they have some room to run. The kick goes up towards half forward. Bounding out is Sutherland. The bounce eludes him though. Good pass right onto the chest of Crowley now. One of the prominent players for Box Hill. Kicks towards half forward. Some holding on. Box Hill will get the free. It's going to be taken by Michael Georgiadis. He just pops it up deep to full forward, hoping for a mark. Budge can't take it there for Coburg. Chance for Box Hill. Snapshot on goal by David Alio, and he's kicked it through for a goal. Took a while for the crowd to respond, but nonetheless, Box Hill get there first.
Yes, they're over on that. The crowd's on that other side, and it's hard to see from that angle whether it's gone through, but
a very wide ground. I remember watching a tape of you guys saying last season, I think one of the widest grounds in the competition, 151 metres wide, I think it is, as we have a look at the replay.
I made a mistake. That is David Aiello, not Mark Aiello. I thought for a moment it was Mark, but who played with Preston and Coburg prior to that. So that's young David Aiello. I'm not sure if he's related. I presume he is. But a good goal on the left foot.
9 points the margin still to the Lions. And they kick themselves up to half forward towards those big two number 7s, the captains Alessio and Wilkinson. Alessio with strength. He's got support. Wasn't Toronto, was it? Kicks inside 50. Spoil, loose ball to Tora. Lining up in goal, steadies. Long grass out there. And the crowd behind the goals. Well, on the stand like it. And the Lions have got their third through to Tora.
Yes, Alex Tutora. I tell you what, he's a pretty classy little player, this bloke. He's just got, he was 20 last year. Plays very smart football. They've been sharp with hands, got a bit of speed. That's a good goal.
Good balance too, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. He's a class player. It's a good game, this. It's tight. Box Hill is still doing well. They're two and a bit goals down, but they are kicking into the breeze. Some good young players exhibiting their skills here today.
From the bounce once more, Slater perhaps want it down for Box Hill. Gee, Crowley's buffeted off it. Chance now for Coburg one more time, thumping it deep as Weston to full forward, and then some. What a great goal. That was absolutely magnificent football, and Coburg are out by 21 points. David Weston gets his first. Blonde hair or not, that was fantastic. What a centre clearance, and it's 4-3 to 1 straight after 12 minutes.
Well, it just shows you, doesn't it?
Have a look at this centre clearance.
Yes, they're doing well. And see, Alan Izard's great play there. He was very good when it counted, and then the ball spills out to Weston and he kicks a great goal. But last week, as I said, Clint, in the centre bounces, late in the last quarter, it was Izard who did such great work, you know. A lot of experience there in Izard.
Yes, amazing. 21 points, that lead to the Lions. And here they go again. But Wilkinson read that one coming out of the middle and showed his pace. Out to Haberfield from Donvale. Takes it back on from Andrew Nicol into the pocket. And a throw-in overrunning the ball was Ashley Cook. So the Box Hill defence is pretty stable, although they're under pressure at the moment. A lot of new players up in that forward line. One of the being Cook from Ballarat. In ruckers, Nicol spent time at Footscray when they were Footscray. Good strong attack of the ball. Took Gaello aside. Slater chasing it. The big ruckman. He's doing pretty slowly. Former Richmond player through the legs. Tackled by Weston. Milziato couldn't get it. And now Coburg go forward through McCabe.
See, Alan Izard is actually 35. Born in...
That's right.
15th of the 4th, 63. So it's a big performance, but he hasn't got an ounce of fat on him, you know. He's kept pretty fit.
I heard him on radio this morning, said he might even consider playing next year.
From the throw-in, Slater palms it down. Crowley takes it for the Mustangs on the members' wing, or the grandstand wing.
Oh, stiff.
Gee, Weston's there for Coburg. He was caught high.
Oh, gee, they've been a little bit lucky, Coburg, with a couple of decisions.
Weston's been right amongst the action. Delivers short for Taranto. Takes the mark. decides to play on. I think Taranto's playing, what, game number 195 or so, Phil. He's played a lot. Now, out to the half-back flank. Hand pass by Peverall. Gee, that puts his teammate under the pump. Kelly, number 40, is there, but he does well. Gathers it. Delivers up towards the wing. One-on-one contest. The man in front, Davidson. Shepherd's out in the end to his teammates' advantage. They can still try and set something up, although coming away is Porter. Gee, no clean disposals. And the boundary line should win out, and it does, as it's forced out by Mark McLeod. Right in front of us, there's the time clock, 15 minutes gone of the opening quarter, or thereabouts. Western has had 9 possessions in that 15 minutes. Now that is a start to a football game, isn't it ever?
I think Crowley might be in the middle with him. He's had a few too. Paul will check that for us. Ezard.
Oh, played, Alan.
Little give to Tatora. Inside 50. Oh, good fist away from O'Neill on his opponent there, Nunziato.
I'd say that Ezard and Tranquilli are playing on each other when they are playing across the centre line on a wing or thereabouts midfielding, but they're certainly minding each other.
The Lions in attack. Big Slater to Wilkinson. Long penetrating kick. On the lead is Harton, just in front of him. Oh, tackle without it. Bit lucky there, Kelly. Intercepted Ames, but Western laying the tackle. Good work by the centre man for the Lions. Ames was almost away.
It's a rejuvenated Coburg team. All manner of hatwear here at Box Hill City Oval this afternoon, and plenty of people up on the hill on the terrace enjoying beautiful conditions, beautiful for football. Now, from the bounce, Tranquilli's kick heads out towards half forward for the Mustangs. Will it go over? Pretty sure Davidson was happy to see it over the line for a boundary throw-in.
Yes, and of course we are shooting today from the opposite side of the ground to which we normally telecast the football. And you're seeing a good view of that terrace.
Now, the Mustangs forced that one back over the boundary line for another throw-in. It's great to sit up there, isn't it, Phil, to relax, watch the footy from a nice spot. Sun,
yes, beautiful.
Baking you out there. Beautiful day. Now, from the throw-in, can Coburg try and clear? Hood from behind, knocked it a good 15 metres on for the Lions. Oh, Western is in everywhere, as is Ezard. Great hand pass away. Can set Coburg up here. Bouncing ball. Sutherland is there. He's kicked one already. He's almost pushed in the back. The gentleman there with a footy in the crowd thought so. It's over for a boundary throw-in. He's happy to be on telly, that man.
He sure is. Can you get a drink out here, Ross, in Box Hill?
Good question.
Prohibition territory.
Yeah, no hotels, but I think at the Box Hill Club you can get beer. I've seen Darren James have one or two over the years.
Just as well.
In fact, Phil, down out, it's a good spot to watch there, but you just got to be close enough to the fence, so away from those coaches' boxes when they're open.
Yes.
You've got, it was Owen Ezard on the field, but John Murphy's up there with Mark Lyle. Ezard, there he is. He's not the captain, but he's the coach. Leading by example, Wilkinson, strong overhead. Seeming to settle, but making his co-defenders work hard with his kicking. That's putting him under great pressure. O'Neill, he's got support from Jenkins. Not much pressure there. And the kick, a shocker. Great bad turnover there to McCarty.
So McCarty spies Alessio from behind. Wilkinson goes the punch, spoils effectively. Still a chance though for Box Hill. Heaney's handball though not all that brilliant. She goes after it again. That was a good second effort. Box Hill have 2-on-1, and it was a nice hand pass from Haberfield. Found Wilkinson. The kick towards half forward. Gee, good defensive work there. Hood wearing his opponent Nickel like a glove, although Nickel might be able to force it out. He fists it towards the 50. Slater, good gather by the big man. The hand pass into space. Yes. The whistle blows. Box Hill will get the free. Phil?
Yes, so it's just a little push there from Western. On a yellow on that occasion. The umpire was in close. You could just spot that.
So David Aiello, the goal scorer so far for Box Hill this afternoon, looks like he's fancying his chances from 50. Will be tough though. The breeze, as Ross mentioned, heading to the right of screen.
Western on the mark, who offended will be hoping he doesn't kick the goal.
The left footer, long kick, and it fades out to the left-hand side, and it is just a behind.
And Clinton, this place does have some deleterious effects on coaches. Roscoe, I think it was Harold Martin who got into big trouble here about 10 years ago, Clinton. The umpires had to barricade themselves after the game because he was so fierce, and he ended up getting suspended and coaching from a cherry picker.
It's called marketing, I think, Phil. You know something about it. No advantage there to Andrew Tranquilli because it wasn't his free kick. Now, over the head of Weston. Izzard read it nicely. Thinks about giving the teammate peril that chose not to. Up to half forward, raving it to Tora. Good spot. Front and square, but turned over. Heaney, nice little interception.
No left hand there to Tora. That was the problem.
Box Hill through Allsop into the pocket. Into the square. Who's there? Good spoil. It's Ames over the ball. 3-on-1. And coming out of it for Coburg is McHardy, and he's put it out on the full. So
Took the mark there, Roscoe. I think, didn't he?
Well, he has, yes, inside.
Cook.
So Ashley Cook from Ballarat. Now the breeze is going to make it difficult for him in that pocket. He'll tend to push it back into play. Left foot will help.
Good kick.
Crowd behind the goals like it. So Box Hill get their second. And they trail by 14 points.
Well, at the other end, to the right of screen, Coburg had a chance across half forward. Izzard brought the ball back into the corridor, but Tatora used his right hand when he should have put the left hand and given a bit of space. Ball was intercepted, went down. Didn't quite result in this particular goal, but that's what lost them the possession, and then a kick from defence and picked up there by Cook and a goal.
So the margin, 14 points. The bounce will favour the Coburg side. Duncan backs himself. He puts his teammate Peveril under a little bit of pressure. They get it away, though. They could be able to set something up. McCabe drives it deep towards full forward. The breeze carries it to the back of the pack. Wilkinson there. He's held off it. Oh, just as Alessio was going to break clear, Wilkinson will get the free.
Good little contest that with Alessio. You see, just prior to this, where they were Wilkinson trying to stop Alessio getting close to the ball because he's got such strong hands, with the free kick went against them.
So Wilkinson clears it beyond the defensive 50. Tatora was there, though. Snaps it back to full forward. Alessio charges out. Look at that, onto the left. Kicks it out to the left, though. Just the behind. Gee, that was graceful, Phil.
Yes, and you see, you could sense the size of his hands, couldn't you? Because as he balked, he held the ball in one hand, didn't lose his balance. There you see Dave Williams in the middle, a premiership player, 88. And Adrian Bassett to the left, premiership player in 89. Of course, Adrian went on to play at Carlton, a great player at Coburg that year, won the best and fairest. Played on Ian Rickman in the grand final at Windy Hill.
Couple of good clubmen there for the Lions. The Neil kicking in. The Lions looking for their fifth. Gilpin, shot on goal. Oh, very good too. They've got their fifth. I think he's called Hollywood Phil. You'd probably know more about this, a story in the record about him. Well, that was a good goal from Gilpin.
I'm not that au fait with the background of most of the players. There's been such a turnover in recent times, but yes, in the record, it's a little story.
It looks like Rock Hudson, it says.
Yes, well, that can bring you some advantages if you look like Rock Hudson. Depends where you're going. But anyway, Gilpin there, beautiful goal. One of those gay bars, you'd be a big hit. But it's a big goal by Gilpin anyway.
5-4 to 2-1 the score back here at Box Hill City Oval. Duncan knocks it down. Chance for Coburg. Ridden into the ground. McCabe. No free kick. Peveril featured in the Herald Sun today. Soccers it off the ground. Up towards half forward. Bouncing ball. Gathered by Nunziato. Kicks to full forward. And juggling the mark. Gilpin again. What a good grab. Ross is showing you the documentation just to prove that that was true as we see Gilpin.
Yes, Alan Izzard's declared he's got a Rock Hudson. Look, I tell you what, he can play too. It's exciting, you know, watching some of these young blokes go around.
So Gilpin, tough shot here. Ideal side for the right footer, but just a few metres in from the boundary. I think he might have just slotted it. His teammates like it. He's got it. 2 in a row for Gilpin and Coburg. What has happened? Where has this transformation come from over the last couple of quarters of football, last week and this week, because they are now out by 27 points?
Well, he's only a 19-year-old, Gilpin, too.
Calder Cannons?
Yes, Calder Cannons. So they pick up some good players. If you just have a little bit of experience, it can help. the likes of Izard, of course, helping. Nunziata, they're putting the ball up beautifully. But, of course, in their first... They only trailed Williamstown a couple of weeks back, or they led Williamstown, I think, at half-time, and they were doing all right in other games up to half-time against Bendigo as well. Confidence, though, Clinton, in a word. Confidence.
This is a big worry. 27 points away. They do have the breeze. And Haberfield with the kick. Giving it back and through the middle. The Mustangs, 20 metres from goal. Oh, yeah. Strong mark to Cook, it looks like. Very strong indeed. So a steadier possibly coming up here for the Mustangs. The left footer.
Out 5 metres.
One of their two. East Ballarat he's from, in the Ballarat Football League.
Yes, a 24-year-old. So he's been around.
Can he kick his second? Loud for the breeze. It didn't bring it back in a poster. That's one apiece.
That breeze did hold it up a bit, though, Roscoe, there. Just made the ball wobble a little bit. Just going back to Coburg, Clint, as I said, I think the confidence last week or the win last week would have given them great confidence. There's a lot of spirit there, and I think Alan Izard's doing a very good job with them.
And they're out to a 26-point lead. Now, the target there over the head of Duncan. At the back of the pack, though, nonetheless, they'll be able to come up to the footy and try and set something up. The kick touched off the boot, bounces towards half-forward. Alessio slips over, gets the hand pass back to Peveril, who runs into space. Left foot kick, and he misses out to the right. A little bit of hook on it, but, gee, that was good running nonetheless. And it's shown that they're willing to run, try and move the football today. And they were out 6-5 to 2-2.
Yes, a beautiful left foot. Left footer, Peveril got the gate, the typical gate of the left footer, smooth.
And Jenkins to put the ball back into play.
You see the camera there, and you see zone defences out on the sides.
Lots of
two on either side by the looks of it.
Plenty of space to find room. Almost brought down. Izard lines up the goals. Well, he was a little bit further out in front. Haberfield, no mark. Strong work inside the 50 area. Who's at the 4? Bello was there. Oh, good play for Box Hill by, I think it might be Haberfield, over the top. To Bello, the rover. Ames got a hand on it, then lays a tackle strongly. Did it well not to get him too high, because...
Yes, in more trouble than a papal nuncio, Roscoe.
McCarty just ducked the head a bit. And there'll be a bounce by umpire Jason Quigley.
Jason Quigley.
I think I got his number 22. I said number 23. He'll be upset about that. Marco Bello kicks it to half forward to Ames, and he's closely harassed by his opponent there again in McCarty, not giving him much space at all.
Oh, I wish someone had taught us Sumpter, I should say, how to do the electrical work in the pub. I tell you what, I'm not happy about that.
From the throw-in, Slater takes it. Well done. Hand pass, Bello. Can Box Hill get a late goal? We've crossed 27 minutes. Kick bounces inside 50. Cook gathers it, twisting, turning. Gets the hand pass away. Haberfield, another hand pass. Harton lines it up, and gee, that was an ordinary effort out on the full in the end.
Yes, good running, nice linkages there, but the kick, not good. Roscoe, you're smiling. You got something to tell me.
You can buy beers.
Yes,
Box Hill City Oval.
Well, you know, you could become a television critic out of this and take over from Robert Fidget or Ross Warnecki, Caroline Wilson. You're in everything. Slater at the back, Spalling on Duncan. Good defensive play by the Coburg ruckman. 41 to 14, 27, nearly 28 minutes. First quarter, and they're two pretty big fellows in the ruck. Slater on the right, Duncan on the left.
Yes, Duncan got the marching orders from Williamstown virtually, Roscoe.
Gee, did that well over the top.
Story was that Merv Kane didn't have a great deal of faith in him. I hope I'm not misrepresenting you, Merv, too much. But certainly turned up at Coburg and doing well.
So, from the throw-in, on the outer wing, gee, going in hard, Aiello doesn't quite get the contact. Nunziata now for Coburg. Maybe they can have time for a late one. A high, long kick to full forward. Big fly, but no mark. Now, the Box Hill side should be able to clear. This is O'Neill. Away on a loping run. Has his third bounce now. Clears the defensive 50. The kick up towards the wing. A little bit of carry on it over the head of Hill at the back. He's been very impressive, Peveril, as he kicks it towards Alessio. Gathers on the bounce. You can see him thinking there. Oh, the kick. Is it gathered in by Totora? Kept it in play. He was well tackled. And it's out for a boundary throw-in on the outer side. Deceptive with that camber of the ground, Ross, as you brilliantly put it, I think, earlier on. The wonderful drainage. Very steep from the throw-in. Gee, Nunziato got the knockdown comfortably. Gone 29.5 minutes, perhaps still time for something late for Coburg. Back towards the square. Oh, wonderful mark. The pressure was on, but Wade Porter took a beauty.
Yes, a lot of the VFL grounds are all generally in pretty good condition. Clinton, most of them have been redrained in recent times, so that's great. The council's doing the right thing in these economic rationalist times, Roscoe.
Yes, a bit of compulsory competitive temper. 14-41. Yes, I was just going to say they're doing some grandstand work here at Box Hill in addition, and that's a good thing. So a great start from the Lions. 6-goal first quarter.
6-5-41 to 2-2-14. Coburg came home like a steam train against Port Melbourne last week to record their first victory of the season, first victory in more than a full season of competition. And there are the goal scorers to quarter time. Gilpin Ryan, the only multiple scorer for Coburg, the only multiple goal kicker on the ground. Phil, in a nutshell, pretty impressive first term by Coburg, but they did have the breeze behind them.
Yes, youthful exuberance plus a little touch of experience. Alan Ezard leading from the front in the centre square and around the middle zone. Weston great, and Alessio giving them a target. Nunziato very impressive. They look good. However, Box Hill will come to the right of screen with the breeze. There is nothing in the game. She's very tightly poised.
Back in a couple of minutes for the second quarter. 6-5-41 Coburg at quarter time, leading Box Hill 2-2-14. To bring us up to date with what else is happening in the world of sport, good afternoon once again to Beverly O'Connor.
Thank you, Clinton. And let's see how tightly poised the AFL games are this afternoon. Firstly, let's take a look at Geelong and Hawthorn. Goal kickers for Geelong, Spinks has booted 2, Barnes and Burns have 1 each. Barry Stoneham playing his 200th match, and I think a win to the Cats would be just what he would like. Hawthorn 3 goals for 22 and Dunstall booted 2. The Western Bulldogs, Johnson 1, Stephen Kolniuk 1 as well for the Doggies. And Essendon, Lucas 2, Caracella and Blomfield 1 each for the Dons. To Flemington now, and results are in for the first 4 events on the card. And in the first, the Carmichael Stakes over 1,600 metres. Let's take a look at the results. Number 10 from 3 and 11, Blackbean. The favourite Ocean Fast pulled up after 700 metres. And that Wajib Star first placing in 6 race starts, so starting to earn the money. In race number 2, number 13, Majestic Avenue from number 5, Aggie's Heart and Mustang Red. The favourite, Maker Scene, was 3-1 starting, but could manage only 10th place. In race number 3, number 9, Quarantine Love from 2 and 3, Blazing Aura. 2 race starts, the last back in December 97, and so far a 3rd and a win. Race number 4 and number 4, Reasons from 1, Rembatika and 3, Sea Rhythm. Eddie Wilkinson, Lee Freeman combined to win this and the previous race with number 9. Let's go back to the commentary team out at Box Hill for the second quarter. Over to you.
Thanks very much, Bev. Yes, 6-5 plays 2-2. Still quarter time. Coburg out by 27 points at the first quarter. Let's go now down to the Box Hill Mustangs huddle and their coach, John Murphy.
We're going to have a go or not, and that's what it looks like at the moment. No one is prepared to do any work. The only time we've looked any good is when we move the ball up forward quickly and Cookie's taken a mark. Well, he's on top, so let's use him. Don't chip the ball around. The ball moving to where you know you have to be. All their training is designed on that particular thing, isn't it? Yep, come on. Get the ball there quickly into that area, and we're not doing it. Out of the middle, we're getting beaten pointlessly out of there. Some of these blokes, look, he's and these blokes, Western, David, you did a good job on him to tighten him up in that last 15 minutes, but they're just waltzing out of the middle without any pressure on. Well, at least make it a contest in there. If you make it a contest in there, then those blokes stop their running. But at the moment, if they're just taking the ball easy, they're all confident. You know yourself when you've been confident playing a game of footy, you just run and the ball follows you everywhere. Well, we're just going to stop that happening. Okay, so we're going to have to now just work away at them, chip away at them, chip away at them. But unless we're mentally up here ready to do it, well, you know, keep saying to you, before a game, there's all this talk about, you know, got to do this, we've got to do that, and it comes back to you blokes on the ground once you get out here, if you want to make what you say before a game true. That's what it comes down to. All the bullshit in the world, it comes back to whether you really deep down do want to do it. At the moment, we don't want to do it. We've done some good passages of play, but too many times the ball just gets whisked away without any pressure on.
Come on, let's turn it around.
When they've got the ball, we've got to have our blokes standing beside them because there's too many loose blokes just running around. And when we get the ball, okay, then we run. We want our forward line players and the wing line, centre line players to run into space and allow us to kick the ball. So let's just chip away, right? Our aim now is to just get the first goal, then we go and get the second one. If they get control of the ball for a while, tighten up on them.
One goal at a time, goal at a time.
So John Murphy there, the coach of Box Hill, having some words to say to his players.
Oh, he's fairly subdued, but really considering the way they played. But look, the point is that he made were quite accurate. Coburg really were first to the ball. They are winning in the centre area with the likes of Izard and Weston. And look at
we
that.
We mentioned that. Weston 10 possessions, Izard 10 possessions, Peveril 8 possessions.
Yeah. So, and Nunziato doing a great game there around the forward line. So,
we mentioned Nunziato. Let's have a look at his goal early on, a couple of the highlights from the first quarter.
I tell you what, I like this fella. I think he's got a bit of class. Izard there too. Smart play. Great handballing close, the Lions.
They've had about 6 handballs here.
Yeah, but they're trying to go forward. They're handballing because they're under pressure. Nunziato there. A pretty impressive player. See, he's a 19-year-old. That's a good sign. You see the centre bounce here. Izard.
Great tackling leads to Weston's goal.
But Izard there set it up beautifully. Duncan got it out. Weston there. Gee, that's a big kick. He's a class player, Weston.
And what John Murphy was mentioning, some good passages of play for Box Hill. This was one of their good passages of play in the first quarter coming up, but it didn't result into anything. And I guess that's what he's talking about. They used the ball well here, Bello there, but they just didn't finish it off. Harton kicking out of bounds on the full here, I think.
Yes, he had the opportunity. He'd be very disappointed with this, Harton, because you've got to kick these, and there you have it. And Roscoe's been down having a listen to Alan Izard. I think he'd be pretty happy, the young fella.
Yes, he was, although the wind has sprung up. It's probably a 3-goal breeze, so Box Hill Coburg had that advantage. Just briefly, umpire Quigley, he's too busy reading the rule book, Phil. He won't be watching Belly Cane.
From the middle, they force it out towards the grandstand side. Weston, who else leads the way, overruns it in the end. Still a chance for Coburg. Great one to involve D'Alessio. The handball to Weston, kick ill-directed.
Gee, all that good work there. Disappointing to lose the ball with a misplaced kick.
Ross astounds me, doesn't he? He really does. The kick towards half-forward, off hands. Haberfield kicks to full forward, working his way in front there. Allsop had it punched away. Good work by the Coburg defence. Izard heads for the boundary line. Well-weighted kick.
Yes, very smart. Yes, we'll see how well umpire Quigley has been reading the book. And that's the Ken Man, is it?
Yeah, the Ken Man Candyman's been hung, has he? Oh, dear. One of the sponsors of the Box Hill Club. From the throw-in. Palm down by Nickel. Weston there. Fisted away, and a good tackle applied as well to force the ball up.
See, that's good backing up by Weston. Got the punch in and then followed up, laid the tackle. That's what you want to see. Good work. Good tackle. Smart, not lazy.
He's doing it all at the moment. From the bounce, Coburg just try to squeeze it forward. Still a chance, though, now for the Mustangs, although that kick's been ricocheted back to midfield. Peveril working his way in there, forced it to ground. Coburg doing everything right at this stage. Bouncing ball towards centre half forward. Heaney there gets a good hand pass away. Perhaps they can try and set something up now. The kick goes out wide. Out there, but Weston once more heads for the boundary line with this kick. D'Alessio waited back on that one. Wilkinson, his opponent, gathers it now, number 7. Kicks towards half forward. But Coburg still having the answers. Davidson now towards half forward. Good pass. And Nunziato takes the mark on his chest. Drives it towards 50. Oh, coming out late. No mark. He almost legged there. Alessio almost legged his own teammate. He coming up with the steal. McCabe. And he hits the post. Gee,
well, he was involved.
I'm not sure who handballed it to him, but clearly a Box Hill play. That was almost like a fortune.
Really a trip down there to Wilkinson to kick in. What are Coburg doing? zone defence, but not all that clear with their zone defences, and you can see what the result is.
Yep, Wilkinson just popped it out in front of Harton, who takes the mark, delivers nicely.
Sorry, they're very casual on their zone defences then, Coburg. They didn't have them out properly. Alanizad got caught, and the ball was won.
Porter towards the wing. Good fist work from behind. Izzard overruns it. Box Hill have 3 on 2. This is Harton. She goes to ground, just slipped over. Izzard right in his back. Coburg will be happy with this. They had a 2 on 3, and they come away with the ball. Peverell inside 50. Beautiful kick. Almost should have been taken by Sutherland. Wasn't. Boundary throw-in just outside the Coburg 50.
Yes, that was a mark gone missing. Someone from Neighbours in the crowd. Or is it from, it's certainly not Ballycasangel?
No, Heartbreak High, Phil.
Yes, or Wildside.
I don't think it's from Wildside.
It's not from the 2 big fat...
Not out in Box Hill, out in the full. And a penalty kick.
I don't know about those 2 big fat characters roaming around. Roscoe, you watching them?
Yes, very good.
Yeah, that'd be your sort of style.
Yeah,
it's south of the Yarra program, that one, isn't it?
We could get a bike like that. McCabe with the kick, centering it. Can something be made of it? Gilpin took quick kick too, I should say, in the first quarter. They come away with it through Heaney to O'Neill. Out to the Social Club side. Over the head of Douglas, who's on for Box Hill. Picks it up again, pushes it forward, then kicks it out on the floor.
Free kick to Coburg. Paul Field might tell us how many free kicks Coburg have received. It seems like plenty.
Davison with the ball, half forward.
5-4 favouring Coburg.
Is that all? Dear me.
Short on into the pocket to Nunziato. And long way from goal. Alessio's back there.
Yes, a big Italian audience out there in the northern suburbs riding this kick, Roscoe.
And he won't quite get the distance. Where are the big fellow? Up goes Duncan, 3, and there'll be a throw in. There's Big Duncan, and there's Ryan Gilpin, has kicked 2 goals, marked by Jared O'Neill. Back from a knee injury and a stead away from Box Hill.
Oh.
Izzard. Time. Kick was smothered. Still in the danger area for the Mustangs, but Slater with strength got the hand pass away. Porter over the head of Harton, picked up by Bello. And the Mustangs through half forward, going very wide though. And perhaps the kick could have been placed a little better. Over in front of Hill.
Really can't afford to go out wide here, can you, Ross? It's just a long way home.
Of course, there was a famous Alex Duncan who played and coached Coburg in the 1930s. I don't suspect they're any relation. Brendan Duncan.
Row on, Allsop off. That changed for Box Hill. So another boundary throw-in on the grandstand side of the ground. But a long way out still from the Box Hill goals. From the throw-in, I think Izzard actually won the ruck contest there as well. His teammate Kelly fists it on. That was tough. McCabe goes down, but he's okay, I think.
Just turned the body at the right time. That was looking pretty fierce.
And a picturesque sight, the Box Hill City Oval, on a beautiful afternoon for football. From the throw-in. And the hand pass away was McCabe one more time. Here's Weston, possession number 12, but ill-directed again, and Porter back there for Box Hill to take the mark. Now, will they go more direct this time? He does. Long to half forward. Good leaping grab.
Douglas, was
taken over the top. Yes, I think it was Douglas. Kicks towards full forward. Bouncing ball. Gee, it eluded them all, but still a chance, though, for Box Hill.
Yes.
Snap towards the goal, and it bounces. And it bounces through for a goal. And was that Bello who came up with the kick? It was, out of a pack. So the first goal of the second quarter, kick for Box Hill by Marco Bello, his first, and one that Mustangs certainly needed to get underway 7 minutes into the second quarter.
Well, it was a good grab by Douglas over the back. He was never in position really to pluck that mark, but he got it. Ball came out there from Harton. Bello there on the end of it. And bang, a lovely goal.
Good background in football from Marsland, Phil. Duncan tries to take it out of the air. Couldn't clear it. They're working hard, the Mustangs. Look away hand pass. Went nowhere. but they've got it to half forward. Heaney up from defence. Oh, well, that's a squaring kick, literally, isn't it? By Porter, Wade Porter. I think Ashley Porter's a football writer in Adelaide, if I'm not mistaken. Former Shield cricketer. There's Wade Porter, Hawthorn, and been here, I think, his 3rd season, perhaps, with the Mustangs.
So from the throw-in, Slater gets it down comfortably. The goal scorer Bello there as well. Box Hill certainly more of the ball lately. That was a good running mark. Joel Ames, no, just didn't quite take it at the end, did everything but hang on to it. Coburg will come out of it with a free kick to Hood. Gee, that was unfortunate. He would have been just about within range. Hood to Weston, had to wait, but does it comfortably. He's had plenty of the football. He'll have a sore foot at the end of the day. The kick towards half forward. Gee, Sutherland, that held up in the breeze. And the mark taken. Box Hill to try and clear it away to the outer side. Wilkinson now steadies, drives it long to centre half forward, charging out as Rowe to try and take it at the back of the pack. Good work, Harton. Oh, Izzard got his foot in the way to knock it away. Harton again, the hand pass away. Aiello into the pocket, bouncing ball running away. Rowe there, 31, gathers it, runs out of room.
Yes, paid it.
Wow.
And by quickly paid a push there. I think that was right. Very casual play by the Coburg player. I think that might have been Budge, was it? I'm not sure. I won't declare him. But there was a little tap on the back there.
So Brett Rowe in the shadows of the advertising hoardings in the forward pocket. This is the proverbial impossible angle. Might just pop it up and hope for the best. No, I don't think he was ever going to really get the goal from there, just to behind.
Hate to see you dump someone in, Phil.
But whoever it was, it was a silly piece of play. You just, when the ball's already going out.
Williams on for Coburg, and Vin Taranto gets up at 4 o'clock, Phil, to
yes,
look
a great
after
tradition.
Coburg market.
Yes, the tank.
But that's to Tora. With the, yes, I think we've used that one last year. Over the head of Williams. Yeah, great start by the Lions, but Ames puts the Mustangs forward. A booming kick. Cook might read it better, but dropping into the hole. Very good play there for Coburg by Mark Hood. Well, nothing much on offer. He'll have to keep it wide and look for a big man out there. Oh, that's a bit too far wide.
The Sheriff of Nottingham kicked that one, Roscoe.
Box Hill to try and set something up, but gee, disposal terrible all over the place. Peveril takes the mark. The hand pass off to Tatora. Kicks it up towards the wing. Gee, holding on. Wilkinson will get the free. Goes against Alessio.
Used his body well then. Wilkinson causing the free kick.
Now, from the wing, just bombs it towards centre half forward. Plenty of players there at the back of the pack. That's not a bad grab, as it wasn't paid to Kelly. Kelly thought he had it. In the end, had to hand pass it away, and Izzard heads for the boundary line again to build up the stats.
That looked like a mark to me.
I think the boys up there are saying likewise. Let's have a look.
Well, I think the bloke on the mark thought it was a mark. The Box Hill player, I think that's a pretty fair indication that it was a mark.
Another Kelly crucified, Phil.
Oh, he's quick today. Chance for Box Hill to try and squeeze it forward. They're in need of another goal to get right back in this. Coburg defence under pressure. Hand pass over the top by Williams. Doesn't go the right way, and a snap at goal is good for Box Hill.
Cook, was it?
He's got his second, Ashley Cook. We're waiting on the all clear, and there it is. So Ashley Cook gets his second. He had a poster as well in the first quarter. And Box Hill get back within 15 points now.
Yes, the goal umpire just looking for a replay, and he's also high sunglasses there. Or was he just staging a bit so that we had him on the camera a bit longer? But Cook there, onto it. The left boot working beautifully there. Crucial goal, that. By the Mustangs. They're right in the game. Coburg must score. You can't just defend for a whole quarter.
Yes, they're a goalless this term. The Mustangs have added 2. After the difference is 27 at quarter time. Here they come again, but straight to the hands of Williams. He kicks very wide. Heaney's caught at the back.
No.
Chance now for Georgiadis. Centering kick is good. Rowe in good position. Out it comes Haberfield's quick. Lines up the goals. And a very quick goal. Third of the quarter for the Mustangs, and they draw even closer. They're within 9 points now.
A yellow, wasn't it, Roscoe? No, Haberfield. Yes. Yep. A yellow 45, of course, there. Well, a mistake by Coburg. Lost possession after that in that back half. Always going to be in trouble once the ball spills out. And Haberfield just darting and weaving and pinching a goal.
So 3 goals, 1-1 behind in the opening 13 and a quarter minutes of this second term. Gets the margin back to just 9 points now. Brendan Duncan, the Coburg ruckman, goes against Slater. They share it. Ezard, good gather, just slung it onto his boot. Sends Coburg up towards half forward. Box Hill the front running though. Gee, hung on too long. Free kick will be taken by Troy Heaney of the Mustangs.
It's quite definite, the umpires on the jumper. If you're holding the jumper, you'll be penalised. He had gotten rid of the ball, so it's a good decision.
Davidson stands the mark. Heaney has the free. Pop it up towards the wing. Gliding in from was Nickel for the Mustangs. Well punched away by Hood. Still a chance for Box Hill. Comes the way of Rowe. Now Haberfield. Bounces it to half forward. Oh, gee, poor hand pass cut off by Ezard. The hand pass initially from Douglas. And the free kick after Ezard had got rid of it. So Coburg will take it to Tora.
I think Kelly was the infringer there.
Sees a loose man on the wing. Gee, goes over his head though. Still a chance. Forcing it Peveril to the boundary line, and it goes over. His teammate Williams was alongside for some support.
Yes, big article on Peveril in the Sun today, talking about how he wasn't that keen about Coburg originally.
But he is enjoying it now, and especially after the win last Sunday. Chance for Box Hill. Beautiful twist and turn by Heaney. Gets it back, goes a third time. Another hand pass, Crowley. Another hand pass away, Harton. Kicks to full forward. Good play, Box Hill. Will it pay off? Cook was back there. Cook's going to apply the pressure here. No, Coburg can clear it away. Budge, well done. Bouncing ball. They haven't cleared it entirely out of trouble yet. Weston overruns it. Hill there, number 1 for Coburg, forces it wide. Weston forces it over. And very happy to see the boundary umpire come in and to throw it in 60 metres around from Box Hill's goal.
Halfway through this second quarter. Here's the clock. Harton waits down for the tap down. Slater against Alessio. Slater wins it. Couldn't find a man with his hand pass. Half forward for the Mustangs. Harton's lifted. Oh, took a while to get rid of it, and was just trying to get the direction so he could find a man. And the kick taken by Kelly, centre wing. In front, the captain, Wilkinson. Spots a man in midfield. Porter. Getting some stretching.
Look out from behind, man, coming
just
down.
got his kick in time. It's a boomer too, up towards the danger zone. Slater got his hands to it. Now trying to care for Coburg's Nunziato, I should say. With the lines clear to half back. And again, the ball not finding its target coming out of defence. Ball been out of bounds a lot on that half-forward flank in front of the Coburg bench.
What's on special this week there, Roscoe?
At the ball, guys, at the ball.
Been down for anything?
Not really.
A nail from the throw-in, Duncan. Hand pass over the top for Hill. Good hand pass in turn for McCabe. McCabe can run. Has Tatora alongside of him. Wants to give it to him. Does. Tatora under the pump. Hand pass over the top for Sutherland, and they muck it up in the end, but they did manage to carry the ball some 50 or so metres, so almost worth a kick.
Well, the idea was fine, but just the execution at the final hurdle, not up to scratch.
From the throw-in, Alessio there. Forces the ball to ground, squeezes a kick towards Tatora. Box Hill there in numbers though. Tranquilli caught high, will get the free. Been relatively quiet today, I think, Andrew Tranquilli. Maybe the expectations of him to do more. Now he's waiting, searching for an option. drives it long. Why not with the breeze? But they don't have the numbers there. Hill, the flyer, can't mark. Well done, Bello. Great work. Hand pass over the top. Box Hill can set up now. Nicol diving back. Good mark, Nicol.
That was tough. That was courageous as Andrew Nicol backed back, knowing that the pack was bearing down on him. And in the end, he's unmanned there.
Yeah, Ashley Cook just about cleaned him up. So Andrew Nicol, this could mean 4 straight goals for Box Hill this quarter. It would get them back within a kick. 45 metres out, and he's got it.
Looks good.
Good quarter this for Box Hill. They have added 4 goals, 1 to just 1 behind, and the margin is 3 points at the 18-minute mark of the second term.
Well, Coburg are really struggling to get inside 50. They hit the 50-metre line, but they're not getting any marks. I don't think Alessio, he may have taken 1 mark this quarter, but I doubt if he's taken any more. He's a key player up there. And they just haven't been able to get the ball. Nunciato playing in the back half at the present time. Whether he's just running free, but they're just in a little bit of trouble across that half-forward line.
Yeah, Slater wins in the ruck, and the Mustangs have been doing well out of the square, but this time it's the Lions, but not getting it far forward. McCarty first there. Gets it about 30 metres around to the Box Hill bench.
Yes, they got Nunciato to the right of screen, loose in defence. It's been there for a little while at least.
Big Slater, 23, did it nicely. Down to Harton, getting a bit of the ball.
Yes, free kick.
Behind play, Phil.
No, up the field, holding on there to Joel Ames. There has received the kick. Definite free kick there.
Now, 1 out, lead by Cook. May not get to him. He's using some pace, but the ball dropping short. Good play by Beverell. Long kick. Gilpin looking for a free, and he's got one. I couldn't quite see whether the ball was he held it or pushed.
I think he paid a push. I reckon that was a bit dicey.
Yeah, he just sort of stopped in his run and O'Neill into the back.
And O'Neill really, in the end, has cribbed probably 2 or 3 metres.
Here it is again. There is a bit of a hand on the back. And meantime, a short pass has been found. And Coburg will have their first shot on goal from Sutherland, who kicked the first goal of the day.
Well, this is crucial, you know. Been under big pressure, haven't had many opportunities to kick a goal.
Stay with your man.
So,
Stay with him. 3 yards behind you.
little
Sounds
breeze.
like a jockey there.
Yes.
Who's that?
I think the breeze is a little bit southeast and left to right. He allows for it, doesn't bring it back. Good thinking, but there is definitely that southeaster, Phil. So a bit stiff by Sutherland there.
Yes, he kicked. Yeah. Well, seemed to run straight to that area. Anyway, Wilkinson, let's look at that. What have they got on the zone defence? They've got 2 to the flanks. You can see there, Tatora on the left of screen, number 5.
The outriders are posted. Wilkinson gets the hurry up, decides to send it long towards Slater. Oh, and it comes to the back of the pack too, and it's good work, and Box Hill are away. Aiello receives it from Disney and kicks towards half-forward. All the Coburg players went up. No one was waiting down. Cook gathers the ball, snaps to the full forward area, and fortunately for Coburg, they had some good defensive pressure, and they've managed to force it over the boundary line for a throw-in. That could have been very, very dangerous, and it just goes to show how quick the ball can move from defence to attack as we see some sign writing. Ima.
And all those players caught in the air. Sorry, Roscoe, on that kick. Hood went for it. As soon as it hit the deck, they were going to be in trouble. 3 Coburg players up.
From the throw-in, that's a high up and under kick. It'll land just outside the square. Coburg force it down. Still a chance, though, for the Mustangs. But Coburg should be able to clear here. Good work. They run in packs there. Open wing position now. Box Hill leading the race for the ball. Porter gets there first. Steadies, twists, turns. Alessio slips. Porter slips. Oh, Porter's almost caught. Gets the hand pass away. Rose hand pass intended for Heaney. Ill-directed. Coburg now, they've got the numbers. Peverell gathers. Loops a hand pass over the top. Izard there. Good work. And why not give it to the coach? Kicks it up towards the middle. Bouncing ball. Gee, the Coburg players just overrunning it at the wrong time. Crowley there for Box Hill. Sends it towards the boundary line. And over for a throw-in on the outer side.
Well, there was a big opening there for Coburg if that ball had bounced in Tatora's favour, but it didn't. And so we're locked up here. Coburg by 4 points.
Slater gets there just in time, Phil. The Box Hill ruckman is having a good quarter, I reckon, Slater.
Definitely on top, Roscoe.
Williams the hand pass. McCabe, Box Hill trying to keep it inside that 50, but the Mustangs come up with again. McCabe on the half volley. Gilpin coming out from half forward. Nice turn to Torrent. He's tackled. Incorrectly disposed of the ball, I thought. Sutherland with a hand pass. Hill. Back to Sutherland. Slow motion footy, but he finds a man. Alessio, centre wing. He's the goal kicker, but he's a long, long way from goal. Only 2 marks. Sutherland ran into an attacking position, was good. Create the option.
Gee, they got no attack, though.
Now here's the lead from Gilpin. Kicks dropped short, and the Mustangs should clear through Bello.
Bello drives a high ball to the middle. Coburg have 2-on-1. They don't manage to come up with a footy, though. Now they will. Gathered by Condon. Almost runs into trouble. Out of trouble. Oh, called for running too far. You can hear one of the Box Hill players in the background yelling out too far. And the umpire agreed. I don't know who's on David Weston at the moment or whether he's on the field, but gee, they're doing a mighty job. He's been silent the last 15 minutes. Box Hill send it deep towards full forward. Again, Coburg have the numbers. Budge is there. He's tied up, and they'll... No, free kick in the back. Budge will get the free. Goes against Ashley Cook. Coburg by 4 points, 24 minutes gone of the second quarter. Alan Ezard out of bounds on the full. Well, the coach can't blame anyone there. And Andrew Tranquilli will take the resultant free kick for the Mustangs. It's the coaching staff for the Coburg team checking the watch. It's 8 minutes past 3, boys. The kick towards full forward. The back of the pack. McCarty for Coburg. Kicks it towards the boundary line. Hill overrun it. Tranquilli caught by 2. They're hailing the cabs. No free kick. They'll ball it up. The temper's beginning to fray a little bit as John Murphy takes the phone in the Box Hill coach's box.
It's the Lions by 4 points. They've led all day here at Box Hill. And Slater with a height advantage. Won it again. No one's going to break that tackle.
You see, Duncan was jumping early, but he's not jumping as high, Roscoe, whereas Slater just got that little bit of height extra, you know, advantage, an inch or 2, and just keeps putting the arms up and the body.
Tranquilli, he's a long kick. It slews off the side of the boot. He's going for the distance. There's no doubt about that. Free kick. It'll go to Georgiadis. Just a little handball away and then tackled. And so, if he can kick truly, the Mustangs will lead.
For the first time in the game. Good news, Ross. Lunch has arrived. It did make it to the other side of the ground.
Yes, the Box Hill ladies look after us, as do most clubs. And Georgiadis pushed it to the left, I think. So they draw within 3 points.
Yes, so the driver, David Weston, not quite in the game. And try to pick up whether someone's got him here or not. Keep an eye on that. But Nunciato not in the game, playing in the back half.
McLeod out towards the grandstand side of the ground. Box Hill players there, Climbers 1 to fist it away. Weston was in that pack, didn't get a possession. Izzard in the end. His kick bounces over the boundary line for a throw-in. There's Weston on screen. Tranquilli alongside him. I don't think they're playing on one another, though. Or they may be. No, there's someone just going to pick up Weston now. From the throw-in, Slater uses the left hand, flicks it down nicely. Box Hill just constantly keeping the pressure on Coburg during this quarter. Cook was there. Couldn't take the mark. Coburg paddle it on through McLeod. Gee, almost free kick, not quite. Still a chance for Box Hill. Good tackle applied by Weston. Gee, 2 Box Hill players. Crowley was there fighting alongside of his teammate. And there will be a ball up 45 metres out from the Mustangs' goal. Aiello was right in there as well. Throw the blanket over 20 of them there or so. Flick to the back of the pack. Bello out of the pack. Yes. Oh, is that a mark? It is. Harton, by the looks of it, has got it and will shoot for goal from directly in front. Brett Harton, the former East Perth Royal, in the West Star rules to try and give Box Hill the first lead for the day.
Well, the big fella, really, Slater, is just killing them now, and that was from his play there. Beautiful left hand. I think it was a left-hand tap.
Yep.
Ball resulted there with Harton.
Brett Harton, this for Box Hill's first lead.
Yes.
He might have just squeezed it in. It was out to the right, but it's good enough. Box Hill in front for the first time, and it's by virtue of a 5-goal 2 to 2 behind. Second quarter, they lead by 3 points, almost 28 minutes gone. It was a right-hand tap.
Yeah, it was a right-hander. Beautiful tap there, and Marco Bello just slipping it forward to Harton. But the big problem for Coburg, apart from the ruck, is that no attack. They just can't take a grab across half forward or get any momentum going.
28 minutes, as you can see. Now the Mustangs by 3. The Lions wanting to get that lead back by half-time. The first time they've been headed. Crowley working hard. It might be the Mustangs. Well, the time beats them all, so it's a pretty fitting result with just a narrow 3-point margin to Box Hill. They added 5 goals in that term, whereas Coburg were goalless. And there is the half-time score. 7-4, 6-7.
Yes, we might get you to analyse that breeze, Ross, at half-time to find out exactly what the difference is. 2, 3, maybe even 4 goals. So the half-time margin, Box Hill by 3 points. You can see there that perhaps the wind has had an effect with 11 goals kicked to that end favouring the right of screen. Gilpin kicked the first 2 goals, or kicked 2 goals in the first term for Coburg. Cook, a couple of goals for Box Hill, 1 in the first, 1 in the second term. Aside from that, they're all singles. But Phil, this match, it's well in the balance on the scoreboard, but in the trend of play based on that second quarter, you'd back Box Hill as favourites from here.
Well, the second quarter was really a carbon copy of the first in terms of the side kicking to the right of screen, or kicking with a very slight breeze. In the first quarter, Coburg got first to the ball. Their hands were good. They opened the play up. In the second quarter, that's exactly what Box Hill did. They got first to the ball. They made use of the ruck where Slater set the game up. They got it forward and they kicked those important goals. But Coburg chose to use Nunciato and then Alessio swinging in the back half rather than have a player up forward. And I don't know that that was a good move. They struggled across half forward. They've got a bit of thinking to do at half-time. She's tight, but that's what it is. It's a tight game.
It's a ripper of a game. So there we have it at the break at the Box Hill City Oval on what is the cliche perfect day for football. Beautiful day. Box Hill by 3 points at half-time, 7-4-46 to Coburg, 6-7-43. And now to bring us up to date with all of the AFL scores, racing results, plenty more. It's good afternoon once again to Beverly O'Connor.
Time to go back out, though, to City Oval to join our commentators, the erudite Clinton GRYBAS and Mr. Cleary. Now, Clinton, I don't know, you know...
We've been called worse, Bev.
You know that your colleague there had a life in politics and he's launched a new book, but I just want to read a quote that he has in an article in the paper. He said he had a few indiscretions on the footy field, although he always claimed they were fair. Phil, come on, fess up. They were never fair.
Well, I learned not to tell the truth only because of politics, Beverly. No, I ran into a few unfortunate umpires who just didn't understand that I was well-meaning, and when I belted some bloke with a forearm was a show of affection, Beverly.
Do you mean it when you say that life on the footy field didn't prepare you for politics? It was that much tougher?
Oh, for sure. No, because in football you could generally see blokes coming, you know. In politics you don't see them coming. They're very deceitful. They play different kinds of games, Bev. So no, footy was a different world.
Now, Phil, you couldn't have been more spot on. The first half was going all Coburg's way, but Box Hill's come fighting back.
Well, it's a great call, Clinton, isn't it? You know, it's a terrific second quarter by Box Hill. Bev, it's a great game out here today, though. 2 young sides and some really good and lively football. I reckon we'll have a big second half. You won't even have time for a scotch on ice, I think, in the second half, I tell you.
Clinton, I hope you enjoyed the tea, lad.
Yes, no, it was very, very nice. Thanks, Beverly. Yes, we had the cake and the sandwiches and everything else, and we are looking forward to what should be a very, very good second half. I mean, the third quarter, based on the first half, is going to be decided. Coburg have to get a few goals up by three-quarter time.
All right, all the best. Good call.
Thanks, Bev.
You'd assume that?
Yes, I would. No, it's there's sort of some interesting aspects of the game. I mean, the tactical manoeuvres, like Alan Izzard pushing Nunziato back and Alessio in succession, and a Slater taking over at the ruck, you know, really turned the game around. So that was pretty important. And then the smalls were running, and Coburg couldn't get past that 50-metre line. I wouldn't think there'd be much in this game right at the finish, but if it were to stretch out, I think it'd go Box Hill's way. So it'd be Coburg with a line ball or Box Hill comfortably, I reckon.
Well, let's have a look at some of the highlights from that second quarter. Box Hill getting right back in. We've got a couple of Box Hill goals, and the first from Bello, and he certainly showed something, Marco Bello, and a little bit of pace as well, and this was a good goal.
Yes, well, they were full of life, Box. It was funny, isn't it? Isn't it a funny game, football and coaching? Like John Murphy at quarter time just sort of said gently, fellas, you're not really going at it hard enough. You're not putting yourself in the line. And I think he was implying they weren't first to the ball. But really, Clinton, in the second quarter, they were first to the ball. Yeah. That's the funny thing about football. If you get there first, you have a chance. And that was a great piece of work by Cook. Cook looked good in the first quarter. He gave him an opportunity. And look at this. That is a quintessential expression of how the game was moving. Slater in the ruck, just tapping down beautifully. Not much in it in kicks as you'd expect. Handballs more Coburg, because Coburg in the first quarter were really smart. Not much else in it, but the ruck, Slater again. Yeah. A big key. They've got to get over the top of him.
Yep. All right, let's find out what's happening down on the boundary line. Ross Booth was in and amongst everything, all the action during that half-time break. Ross, what's the latest down there?
Oh, sorry, Clinton. Look, I'm just enjoying this tea at Box Hill. We get lovely China mugs at Coburg next week, filled with polystyrene. I hope we get the China ones. Look, David Weston was marked there by David Aiello in the second quarter, so he did a very good job for the Mustangs. And Andrew Tranquilli had the job on Izzard, but he was dragged halfway through that quarter because Izzard was getting too much of the ball. So I think you'll find he's got a new opponent.
All right, thanks for that, Ross. Yes, some good work in terms of finding out the matchups, because they were the key ones. We noticed the way that Weston was really just shut right down. Only one possession, maybe two. He's going to go in there straight at it to start the second half, but gee, one or two possessions only in that last 20 minutes of that second quarter.
Yes, I spotted Aiello towards the end of the quarter there following Weston around. I wasn't quite sure whether he'd had it, how long he'd had him for. But we'll see how it unfolds now.
Now, finally, Coburg can win a ruck contest down, but it's Box Hill at the foot of the ball, taking it. The short pass finds its way to Troy Heaney. This is a vital third quarter. Really could either set this match up for a gripping finish, or one side could break away. I guess the local fans hoping it'll be their team. Now, Merley was held there, couldn't get it. Bello off the ground. Sockers it out towards the boundary line, then chases it away, runs away from the big man, Duncan. Well done, Bello. Great delivery to Tranquilli. And he takes the mark. And, well, the Box Hill players surrounding Marco Bello there, you see in the background, telling him well done. And look at that delivery, right onto Tranquilli's chest.
Yes, a good move by Tranquilli down the corridor. Had a bad start to the game. Alan Izzard well and truly on top, and he paid for it. Now he has to get himself back into the game. What a way to start the third quarter. This would be very hurtful to the Coburg side.
Tranquilli looking for his first for the match. Long kick, and it's perfect. So Box Hill extend on that lead, and Coburg now with some work to do.
Well, yes, they struggled in the second half in a couple of games earlier in the season, Coburg. Not the case last week, seemed to have overcome that problem. They had a big problem against Williamstown in the third quarter. And this third quarter will test them there. Marco Bello, great work. Tranquilli drifting down the corridor. Now, good start by him, picking up Alan Izzard.
So both teams looking for their second win of the season. Could be enough to push them into the top six as well. It's such an even competition. Now Coburg have got to get something going here, and Peveril was who rove that ball. The kick goes deep towards full forward. Still a chance for Coburg. Nunziato there on all fours. Squeezes the hand pass out. Chance now for Gilpin. Snaps it. Goal. And gets it. That's his third. And that ends the drought very, very quickly. Again, the importance of the centre clearance. That ends a run of 6 straight goals to Box Hill. Gilpin gets his third.
Well,
And,
yes.
well, they're not done yet.
No, they aren't. Sorry, Disney has actually got the job on Izard in this quarter. Of course, Tranquilli had the job early is what I meant to say. But Gilpin here just moving around there and kicking a fine goal. They needed that under a bit of pressure. First goal since the first quarter for the Lions. Kicking with a slight breeze.
And I'm feeling this premiership quarter, that 3-minute walk around there from the other side of the ground, this big Box Hill ground. Bello having a good game. Sends the Mustangs into attack. But Coburg cleared. Out towards McCabe. Dished out by Davison.
Good running.
The Lions looking good. Kick forward by Kelly. Up to half forward. Not paid. Porter to Wilkinson. He'll switch play, will he? What's on offer? Nothing there. He'll have to come back defensively. Kick to a few Coburg players. One of them Kelly and the other Davison. Or Davidson. 52-49, the Mustangs. Slater uncontested. Disney. Izard ducks the head. Slater gets him high. There's tall and the short of it. And the umpire says throw it in. 4.5 minutes, third quarter.
So Duncan and Slater to contest. They lock arms, take each other out of the contest. Duncan bends down, hands it out to Izard. That was all. It wasn't a handball. Kick touched off the boot. Still a chance for Coburg now. Driving it to full forward. Davidson back in the square. It bounces through. And Coburg are back in front. How about that? Zane Davidson gets his first and Coburg take the lead.
Well, Roscoe, the wind cannot be that significant in this game, but it's quite bizarre, isn't it there, Davidson? Good work by Izard, too, to swing the ball out of the back, being picked up by David Aiello, of course, the brother of Mark Aiello. And then Davidson on the end of it and sinks it. What a remarkable game this has been. All the really big stuff happening to the right of screen where we have a slight breeze advantage.
Yeah, it's just still definitely there, Phil, but not as strong as earlier on, but it's all mental. Izard. Another one for the Lions, bouncing just wide. Oh, that would have been handy. And so Alan Izard still racking up the possessions, as Phil said, despite a new opponent, Jason Disney. In fact, Tranquilli was taken off for his poor tagging job on Izard in that second quarter.
O'Neill will go short, risky, but
Back 2 metres.
good, solid mark taken by Aiello. If I was a spectator watching from behind the goals at the other end, I'd head to the right-hand side because that's where all the action is. Aiello kicks it towards half-back for Box Hill. Off hands, Alessio gathers, kick smothered, taken by Weston. Round his body he goes, but good juggling mark. Gee, not paid for Jenkins. Coburg half a chance now from the point of the square. Piverell to full forward. Bounces over the head, though, of his teammate Sutherland. And it is forced through for one behind to Coburg.
Yes, just in case I haven't confused you, Disney is picking up Izard, Aiello is picking up Weston.
And O'Neill is kicking in to Porter. Ames makes a lead to centre wing. You really have to kick to him. Oh, there's another lead coming from Wilkinson. He's got away from Alessio. Well done, the big fellow.
Let him up.
Just a bit much leg speed, bit much mobility. Gives it to Crowley.
Smart kick in too, Ross.
Into Cook. Oh, no, it's Nickel. Good give to Bello. He's getting more of the ball. Wobbles it into side 50. And this time Cook takes the mark. Bit of a Lockett look about him. Not as big. Now it's shorts on. Bello. On a worse angle.
It's poor checking, isn't it?
Oh, terrible. That is terrible. Alan Izard would not be happy about that.
Bello kicked a goal in the second quarter. Yeah. Just the gentlest of breezes from left to right for the left footer, and he's allowed for it too much. Far too much. That didn't leave the boot too well. 1-1 to Marco Bello. And the lead for the Lions, as you can see, 4 behinds. Mello runs to take up his position in the zone defence.
Yes, and big renovations about to occur here at this Box Hill ground. Peter Allen, councillor, just been in to tell us about the $500,000 they're spending on the ground over at the Social Club.
McLeod chips to himself, now drives a long kick which carries towards the wings. Slater from behind, one grab, not the second. There's Bello again, knocking it out. Gee, he did well on that occasion, forced it on. Now what's happening? Murley got the kick away. It was pushed after he got rid of it, so the free kick downfield.
Sorry, I think he's taking it. No, he's just trying to work out, are we going upfield or downfield? No, I don't think.
Yes, to give it to Brett Hart.
Yes, decided to go downfield. I thought it was a bit ambiguous, the signal there for a minute, but now it's decided.
In front of the Box Hill stronghold on the terrace to try and restore the lead for the Mustangs. Harton kicked a goal in the second quarter. There's the kick on its way. Yeah. And it's out to the right, just a behind.
I know you spent last year in Perth, Clinton, and Harden was at East Perth, but of course he did come from Box Hill. Just
yeah, played what, a game back in '93 or something.
He's been around North Melbourne too, I think. So McLeod booting in. And the mark paid to Weston.
Actually, just as well, they're in a bit of pressure there. Coburg was not a good kick out in terms of numbers. I think Taranto back on the ground, seemed to have a neck problem early, but hard to keep the tank out of action.
Yeah, Kelly kicks to Duncan, big fellow, in towards centre forward, but Slater's back there. His opponent, good agility from the big fellow. Out in front, Murley gets a cruel bounce. Good desperation by Hill. Hill sneaks it out. Oh, in the back against Slater. McLeod gives up the ball. And Peveril is clear in the centre square. Duncan wants it wide, but that'll be too indirect. Uses the pace. That's a booming kick. Might clear the pack. No hands on it. Alessio and Wilkinson who rushes it through. Good play.
Lock it in, Bergs! Lock it in!
Lock it in, Bergs. I wonder where that term originated, Roscoe. I wonder if they were saying that last century, lock it in. Probably they were.
Crowley to bring it back into play, gets the hurry up. Goes short for Porter. Still deep in the defensive end for Box Hill. He's going to send it back across the face of goals. Always somewhat risky. O'Neill this time has it. Right alongside your favourite sign, Phil, the Hira Hubby sign. O'Neill sends it back across the field to Heaney.
Yes, they've finally fixed up Ross's light globes.
That's right.
Put the batteries in his alarm system.
Tranquilly.
And he sleeps peacefully.
Up towards the wing. 2-on-1. Coburg have the numbers. Box Hill come away with a footy, though, and that's the main thing. Heaney receives it off of Nickel to half forward, though. This time it's 2-on-2, and Coburg head for the boundary line. Will it go over? Kelly might keep it in. The boundary umpire said, no, you don't. Throw it in. Outer wing. Coburg by 4 points.
How is the pad in Toorak, Roscoe? Got the paving done as well, have we?
You can't help yourself, can you? 11 minutes, third quarter. Duncan, nice tap, but it's sharked by Tranquilli.
That's good work by Izzard, though, the captain coach, 35 years of age, laying the tackle and still going as fiercely as he was at the start of the game. There he is, the champ, 2 premierships at Essendon.
Duncan, well, new lease of life, 2 knockouts. Crowley into the open spaces. Running onto it, Nickel. Oh, Murley. Oh, I think he was trying to centre it. Harthen, good mark. Just slipped, and I thought he was in trouble, but he recovered very well. Little chip into the pocket. A little bit slow in coming. Douglas dispossessed, and there'll be a bounce right near the behind post for the Mustangs.
We spotted Darren James here today, Roscoe. He's a legendary Box Hill supporter.
Yes. And
I haven't spotted him, have you?
No, I haven't.
No.
As is Paul Barber.
Yes, Paul working up, I think, on the 7:30 report in Sydney in the background.
So from the bounce, deep in Box Hill's attacking zone. Harton there. He's been impressive in this match this afternoon. But nothing happening. They'll do it all again. We're at Coburg next week. Coburg versus the Preston Knights for our match of the round from 2 o'clock next Saturday. Don't forget the basketball tomorrow here on ABC from 4 o'clock. North Melbourne and Newcastle from the Glass House. From the bounce. Gee, giving it a big swing, but missing it was Nicol. That was a snap out of a pack. Won't quite carry. Harton's running the same way as the flight of the ball. Good work, though, by the Coburg defence to force it over for a rush behind.
There's the flow, though, going with Box Hill, I fancy, in this, the third quarter. Just need to do something special, Coburg. Got to get their big marking players into the game.
Peveril is a left footer, so he'll... goes pretty wide. He's looking for Duncan. With him, Slater.
Oh, good grab.
Getting better and better, the big fella. But it was a good move by Duncan, but Slater was right with him. Out to Ames, outside 50. Joel Ames just pops it up, looking for a mark. Cook is there. Out by Disney. Nicol trying to get it out of the pack. Murley laying the tackle. He's out there for his side, the Lions.
See, Nunciato's really drifted out of the game since the first quarter, and they can't get Alessio taking marks at half forward. Coburg, that is.
Yeah, Jason Disney, 32, with his man Izard. Great height difference. Murley, number 3, can't break that tackle of McCabe. That'll be a bounce.
It's a big rap for Izard to think that Disney would have to tag him, Roscoe, really, isn't it?
It is.
Disney, of course, going on 24 in a couple of months. Izard already 35.
From the bounce, Nicol climbs high, palms it down, it squirts. No, it doesn't quite squirt out of the pack. It'll be a third bounce. You get the feeling, Phil, they've got to have someone to try and spark them here, Coburg, like Western did in that first quarter, just to give them a bit of a spark, get 3 or 4 possessions in a hurry.
Well, they've just taken Tatora off, you know, and they need players like that really firing up. They've got to be clocking up the possessions.
Yeah. Nicol again. The basketball style palm down. Gee, big swing by McCabe. Doesn't make contact. Haberfield was there. His teammate Aiello snaps to the goal square. Peveril back there, runs into some space. Has to use the right boot. It's a grubbing old kick. Bounces towards the line. Cook keeps it in. He's 55 out though for Box Hill. Centering pass. Harton again. Oh, the locals don't like it. The kick comes out towards the wing, but again, Box Hill have the numbers anyway.
Oh, that was interference quite clearly, Clinton. Should have been paid.
Wilkinson, the kick to centre half forward. Oh, that will be paid. Tranquilli will get it. Indiscriminate act from Budge, pushing in the back. Great vision, Tranquilli sees a man, Cook in the pocket, delivers to him, and Ashley Cook will line up for his third goal to try and give the lead back for Box Hill. Just some beautiful touch there from Tranquilli. And now Ashley Cook have crossed the 16-minute mark of the third quarter to try and give Box Hill the lead back. As you see, he's had 9 possessions and 4 marks. And the left foot kick, oh, that's a shocker. Hasn't carried, can you believe that? And the ball's fisted to the boundary line. It'll stay in. Haberfield half a chance. Teammate Murley takes it. Gets another hand pass away from the boundary line. That kick out on the full. Gee, that's undisciplined play from Box Hill. They could have had, should have had the lead back, but Coburg keep the lead by 3 points. That might have been touched. It'll be a boundary throw in.
Box Hill led by 3 at half-time. Coburg have 2 goals. Box Hill 1, and the Lions back in front by 3 points. McHardy for the Lions. The centre wing over the head of Crowley. And Alessio.
Berger's under a bit of pressure there. As Lloyd Moss there, just on the fence. Famous Coburg supporter just behind Anthony Alessio. The Os Group Springs man.
Duncan and Slater again. Over the top, Wilkinson. Coming in, Slater. Certainly looks fit this year. High ball. Oh, Nicol. Feeds it off to Tranquilli. Finessed a bit, trying to find Harton.
And he's just puts the slipper in. Cool as you like. just to nullify that manoeuvre by Box Hill. Yes, Slater going great guns. Big and strong, Roscoe.
19 kicks for Izzard and 2 hand passes from the throw-in. Weston's well tackled. In the end, he applies another tackle on Haberfield, and we'll have a ball up. Right below the terrace area.
Yes, nice grass cover on the terrace there.
Nickel palms it down. Coburg do the roving, squeeze it up towards the wing. Sarasis was there. Izzard gets it away. Good tackle applied on ALO. Still gets the hand pass away. Weston's fighting hard. Coburg might be able to get away with it now. This is one of the few times they've been up forward over the last 5 or 6 minutes. It's gathered by Sutherland. Beautiful good hand pass over the top. Nunziato kicks to full forward. Oh, not quite the mark. They might be able to rove, though. The hand pass to Alessio. Just quite can't grasp it. They get it nonetheless, and the kick is marked by Box Hill, although the whistle is gone. And the free, yep, the push, and it's going to be Jason Sarasis to take the free.
Yes, well, he just played. There was a push on in the back there on Sarasis as he kicked the ball. Of course, you'll see it here. Is it Tiggy touch? Well, gee.
I think it is, Phil.
Tiggy touch or there?
Oh, Tiggy touch, I think.
Yeah.
Just a push to the top of the forearm, top of the arm.
So, this to give Coburg a 9-point lead. We've been nice to the umpires all day today. Sarasis the kick out to the right. Oh, that's demoralising for your team when you can't put that away. End result, just 1 behind. There's the scoreboard, 4-point lead for Coburg, 19.5 gone to the third.
So, yes, that was a bad miss. That would have really lifted the morale.
Oh, O'Neill in trouble. Scoops it back through the legs to Heaney. And Harton. Oh, they're finessing. Wilkinson, bit of a fumble. The quick kick. Harton in trouble. Good strong tackle by Kelly.
Gee, wasn't that the worst clearance out of a backline that you have ever seen, and it comes off though.
Just 55-59. You can see the Lions leading. Coburg over the Box Hill Mustangs, pushed to the line.
Must say, of course, Ross, that Coburg came home against the breeze against Port Melbourne last week. Couple of goal breeze, a bit similar to today in terms of the breeze, heavier ground, and they got up. So don't write them off. Where have I heard that before? But they really got a problem with Slater. He's just getting on top. Nunziato not in the game. Alessio, but that's probably a good sign for them in a sense that if they fire up, there's the crowd. A lot of young people at the VFL these days.
From the throw-in, from behind Weston, Harton is tackled. They might do it all again. Nunziato held. Izzard got the soccer away. Can Box Hill try and clear? Tranquilly over the boundary line just as Coburg we're going to try and clear it away. Right below us, between wing and half forward for the Lions. They're up by 4 points, but they, you fancy, need something more than that at three-quarter time. Weston breaks the tackle. Kick is touched off the boot. They won't pay the mark. They head for the boundary line again and find it. And there is, how many? There's a dozen, 14, 15 players within about a 20-metre radius of this boundary throw-in. Pretty crowded. But if Coburg can squeeze it away. Nunziato there, used his body well. Wilkinson, look out, caught. Ball goes to Alessio. Hand pass over the top. Izzard, he won't miss. He's got it.
Gee, that's class football there, Clinton. And, you know, I think, was it Alessio, Taranto and Izzard, the three most experienced players in the Coburg side, caught up in this. I'll just take you through this. The tap comes out. We're under a bit of pressure. Great tackle, fantastic. And now it's Alessio, left hand. Watch Taranto, though. That's a highlight we'll no doubt see again at some point, I reckon, because that was a pearler. Class play. Taranto holding up, just putting the ball into Izzard's flow or flight, and a nice left footer.
Coburg have kicked the last 3. That's Izzard's first. They're out by 10 points.
And we're deep into the third quarter. 22 minutes gone already. But Slater dominating the ruck. Another good hit out to Tranquilli. Spears the pass beautifully up towards Cook. Good work by McLeod with a bit of edge on pace to clear that one.
Oh, yes. Going to be a good final quarter here at the Box Hill ground.
It was Budge taking the ball over. Apologies to him. Yeah, be a pretty fiery John Murphy at three-quarter time, I reckon.
Yes, I'm sure you won't go near him, Roscoe. I know you're frightened of him.
I will, because you'll be in the Coburg huddle, I'd expect. Now, Weston, magnificent first term, good give to Alessio. Chased by Haberfield. Oh, and he's lost it. Haberfield's quick. In from support comes Peveril. Alessio comes in to make amends.
It was like the Queen Mary just doing a little saute down the Thames there, wasn't it, with Anthony Alessio? Oh, it's the QE2, is it? The Queen Mary's scrap on the scrap heap, is it? Scrap metal. Ross's favourite boat, that one. Dreams about it at night.
From the bounce, Box Hill go forward through Jenkins, and the mark has been taken by Nicol diving forward. Well, that came out of nothing.
Yes, that is the end of a dream. That is a nightmare for Coburg after putting the pressure on to have Nicol just slip in there in the corridor. Ball dropping short. Andrew Nicol been around.
He's their leading goal scorer this year with 5. They're in the second half of their 4th match. There's the angle. Needs the goal, and out to the right. That won't come back. I don't know why they don't take Ross in at half-time of each team and get them to tell them which way the wind's blowing, which post you have to aim at, because they keep mucking it up. Another behind on the board. 24.25 minutes gone. Coburg by 9 points.
How many years do you have at Footscray, Nicol? Ross be a couple, wasn't it?
Yes,
about 2 or 3.
Had a nasty injury, broke his leg, I think.
Yes.
There's a passenger.
Blood Peveril's going off.
Yes, just to finish that on Nicol, I think he was struck by a car outside, standing outside his own car. It's about to get into it and broke a leg. So
I'll tell you what, a bloke nearly cleaned me up the other day in Sydney Road. God almighty.
Probably deliberate.
I'd have been nice and angry. Yeah, I don't know whether I spotted an ALP badge on the back of the scout.
Davidson coming on for the Lions.
Oh, dear.
So 56-65. The Lions by 9 points. And there's the clock, 25 minutes. There it is. Whitehorse Road in the background. Now the lead is coming. Ooh, turnover. Risky play. Aims in strongly. The tackle, bump in the head. I wonder if he's all right.
Yeah, good.
Who is it, Phil?
Toronto? Let's have a look. No,
yes,
here
it
is
is
the Tank.
Well, he got a knock in the back of the neck in the first quarter.
Takes a bit to bowl the Tank over, but he was very unprotected on that occasion. Quite unprotected.
Hey, try and keep away, Al.
The umpires haven't called for the trainers haven't called for the stretcher yet, so play will go on. Into the centre, Haberfield. Nicol. Oh. If there was no one there, he just would have kept going.
Just go back to the Tank in Toronto, of course, game 195 today, chasing the 200. He had a little bit of trouble before half-time. He's all right there, but quite ironic that he should have had a problem with the around the shoulder, and seems to be recurring. Anyway, Nicol, big goal this one.
And players congratulating Haberfield for that good bit of play and pass to Nicol. Nicol, it seems to have pushed it to the right.
Snuck in, I reckon, has it? No. Yes.
Yes, it has. Didn't leave the boot all that well, but 2 goals now to Andrew Nicol. And Box Hill are within 5 points.
Well, he's emerging as a key player at the moment, Nicol. You see him on the lead, slipping through the corridor.
You right, buddy?
Got to do something about him. He's a class player.
Make that 3 points, Clinton.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Economist.
Bit of creative accounting there.
9-11 to 9-8 as we come up on siren time to end this 3rd quarter, but it is tight heading towards the final quarter. Both of these teams with 1 win this season. Coburg 1-3, Box Hill 1-2. They had a bye earlier on, so both sides will be desperate in the final quarter. Secondary bounce in the middle.
It wasn't actually an untruth. They are within 5 points and we're within 3.
You'll try and justify anything, won't you, as Peveril comes back on the ground. From the secondary bounce, Slater knocks it down for Box Hill. We're going to have a 3rd bounce.
Dave Brereton there, the trainer, of course, you would have spotted on the screen. Brother of Dermot Brereton. He tells me the trainers are organised. They've got a training organisation established in the VFL, and they're looking at some big things for the future.
Oh, good to hear. Now, looks like we might end up with a fourth bounce unless Ezard can get the handball away. He does. Wilkinson is there, though, for Box Hill. Well picked up. Kicks it out towards the boundary line. Oh, Peverell, though. Gee, had to wait for it, didn't he? Gets the hand pass away. Hill was well tackled. Peverell again gets it away. Gee, Coburg managed to evade 4 or 5 tackles there. The kick to half forward, and at the back, the mark will be paid. Nunziato, well taken. Time running out, 28.25 minutes gone. Kicks to full forward, onto the chest. Not quite the mark taken by Gilpin. Snapped out of the pack. Didn't see who got it, Phil, but he's bounced it through for a goal. And it's been kicked by Jason Sarasis.
Yes,
he gets
Sarasis.
his first. And Coburg, that is exactly what they needed, the reply, to give them a 9-point lead in the shadows of the break. Gee, I'll have to have a look at that again to see how he squeezed it out.
Well, it's a beautiful piece of work, but you've got to be careful not to say this name too quickly, Clinton. You get yourself in all sorts of trouble. But you just see, he hung on to the ball, Sarasis there, and just bang. Beautiful piece of work.
29.
Very interesting game. This going to have a great last quarter.
2 goals to Box Hill in the term, and how many is that to the Lions? 4. They're outscoring the Mustang. Here comes Andrew Tranquilli to Harden. Peverell lays a tackle just in the nick of time. And Budge clears for the Lions out in front of the Social Club. Bello underneath it with Williams. Oh, well, that's a lower groin tackle, I think, Phil. He's been penalised. Held on for just too long. Williams with a kick off the side of the boot into the centre square region. Oh! And Duncan judged it better. Send Slater under the ball. So he certainly lifted, has Duncan. That's a good sign. Towards centre half forward. A bit of poor judgment there. And Crowley and Sutherland, number 12 for the Lions, fighting for it. It'll be a bounce, 71-62 in favour of Coburg. Not far from three-quarter time. We've had quarters of 30 minutes and 28 and a half, so any moment now for the clock, for the siren, I should say. A free kick, well...
Oh, who's got it?
Timely.
Has Coburg got the free? No, it was going to Box Hill.
I was lucky.
So at three-quarter time, the margin is 9 points in favour of the Coburg side. They kicked 4 goals for. In that third term, Box Hill kicked 2 goals for. Coburg led by 27 points at quarter time, Box Hill by 3 at the half. But in that third term, Coburg pushed their way clear to that 9-point advantage. There are the goal kickers. Gilpin has kicked 3 for the Lions, while for Box Hill, 2 to Nickel and 2 to Cook. But gee, Phil, it is all set up for what should be a fabulous last quarter. I guess the simple question is 9 points to Coburg lead. Is it enough for them to hold on, you know, in terms of the scoring in clearly to the right-hand side of screen? Who's going to win?
Well, look, it's a breeze worth a couple of goals essentially, but often these slight breezes are really good to go with. They're not you know, overpowering. Like a big win sometimes be really difficult. Coburg, though, if you base it on last week, they got up off the mat, being down at three-quarter time, kicking to the breeze. You've got to say they're a chance, but if they slip in this final quarter and don't get the ball out of the middle and their midfielders go missing, they're in trouble. They've got to get Nunziato and Alessio to take marks. They didn't in the corresponding quarter, the second quarter, but you'd have to say they're a chance, but it's going to be very, very tight, I would reckon. 2
desperate teams coming up in just a few minutes for the final quarter. But at the last change, Coburg 10-11-71, Box Hill 9-8-62. Beverly, it's a thriller to this stage. Tough to pick a winner. What's happening around the sporting world?
It is indeed, Clinton, and we're looking forward to that final quarter and some... Yes, live it will be, and a great game tomorrow, celebrating 20 years of national basketball in Australia. And a little bit of inside information. We heard Clinton mentioning that the players will be wearing their short shorts from the 70s. And Clinton, the ABC commentary team, I understand, is going to be pulling out the flares.
Oh, Beverly, look, I tell you, only because Alan Pridmore's the boss and you don't argue with Alan, we're going to look like, I think, Graham and the Colonel out of the Late Show from the D generation. We've got those old green ABC jackets. They've picked the worst possible shirts in wardrobe, and their striped ties are just shocking.
Alan wears the flares all the time, doesn't he?
Yes, he does.
I just threw out a pair, Beverly. What a shame.
You could have been on the money.
Thanks for bringing that up, Bev.
Well, go back to that huddle because it's going to be a thriller. It's all over, I guess.
Yes, the huddle's all over. It's going to be a fantastic final quarter. Alan Ezard just breaking up after chatting with the troops. 9 points, the lead for Coburg at the final change, 10-11 to 9-8. You mentioned last week that they came from behind, Phil, against Port Melbourne. At the last change last week, Port Melbourne were 9-5 to 6-8. Coburg kicked 4-1 to 1-2 against the Breeze to get up by 2 points. So I guess that, you know, there is petrol in the tank last week, clearly. Perhaps the same today, although it is fairly warm out there with the sun coming down on them still.
Well, they're good enough young players. There's no doubt about that. They're a young side. But whether Ezard can keep up the work that he's put in the first 3 quarters. And there's the man, Weston, on screen. But I fancy that someone like Nickel.
Well, Weston got back into it with 18 possessions to three-quarter time, 14-4. Let's just have a look at a couple of the highlights, Phil, the key ones from the third quarter. And firstly, Alan Ezard's goal. That was great passage of play, this, from the Lions.
Yes, Alan Pridmore tells me that one of the ladies over there in the Box Hill camp reckons I've been too complimentary to Alan Ezard, but I must say, you know, I think anyone would acknowledge, or everyone would acknowledge, that he's played a big game. You know, at 35, to be leading your side in the manner he has, it's a big ask. But Box Hill, I would fancy that Nickel will be a key player at centre-half forward, and Hill will have a big job on him. And, of course, Wilkinson in the second half.
This is the goal.
Zarasis' goal. That was a beautiful piece of work. He just toyed with that, played with it, tapped it down to himself, and then banged it through. Good stats there. Well, the hit-out's still going Box Hill's way. Roscoe, we didn't see Alan Ezard. How was the little fella?
Well, I went and listened to John Murphy just to, you know, have a go at you, as it were. And Johnny said their season's on the line for Box Hill. They haven't played well. A lot of space for Cook to lead into at full forward. A lift from senior players like Cam Crowley and the ruckman Slater, who he said's been a great job, but don't get sucked in.
All right, thanks, Ross. Season is well and truly perhaps on the line for both of these sides if they want to try and squeeze out that 6th spot on the ladder, both looking for their second win of the season. We'll have a secondary bounce in the middle. Some of those other major possession winners: Wilkinson 15 touches, Bello has had 14, Heaney 14 as well for Box Hill, Peverill's had 19 for Coburg, Ezard 24. Now from the secondary bounce, the soccer off the ground ricochets Coburg's way. Well done. Nunziato takes it. Oh, he sold the one dummy, gets the hand pass away. Here's Ezard, another possession. It goes out wide. Couple of Coburg players out there though, they might have a chance. Zarasis there, kicks to full forward. This is the ideal start for the Lions, and the mark has been taken, and Gilpin will line up his 4th goal.
Well, Nunziato has not gone into the back half. They've used Matthew Kelly for Coburg in the back half. I think that's a better move. The result is Nunziato featured in the play from Ezard, so they've got a chance.
So Ryan Gilpin to line up his 4th goal. The kick, it's a thumping kick straight through the middle. He's kicked 4. And Coburg, who won just 1 game all of last season, now aiming for their 2nd win in succession, and they're out by 15 points.
Well, look at Nunziato here. Goes forward. Smart play. A little slips a handball in underneath. And Ezard, well, Clinton, that's good play, isn't it? He's put on the left. They're going well here. Zarasis there, putting it around. And Jermaine Gilpin on the end of it. Goal.
Well, 15 points might be a little bit to try and rein in. Gee, shoveling it forward was Weston, only as far as Porter of the Mustangs. Sends it out wide. Boundary line looming, should win out, and does. Taken over by Shane Allsop. Well, 15 points. Very interesting now to see whether the Mustangs can storm back. They kicked 5 goals to nil in the second quarter when they were kicking to the right of screen. They managed to squeeze one out here towards half forward, bouncing ball. Peveril, very impressive today, fists it away well. Hill gathers, has time after slipping over. Left foot kick to half forward, goes through everyone's hands. Box Hill still, Porter the hand pass away. Now Crowley, centering ball, out into space, bouncing ball. Coburg will get there first. Gee, but they don't read it all that well either. Williams didn't quite gather it. They get a second effort though. The hand pass away by McCabe. This is good footy. Peveril kick, a grubber, bounces towards the 50. Box Hill, Porter has it stripped right out of his hands. Taken by Williams. Hand pass knocked away again. Bello, hand pass, Harton. Here go the Mustangs. Tranquilly, long kick, deep to full forward. Cook back there over his head. Can't mark. They might just concede it behind here, Coburg. A touch of the fumbles for Budge. And eventually it's over the boundary line for a throw in 15 metres around from Box Hill's goal. They need to try and find a quick reply. Speaking of quick, 3:18 gone on the clock. Ross Booth, that's a personal best today.
Yes.
Welcome back.
Thank you very much. It's a few good tumble turns, I think, around behind the goal square. Oh, snap over the shoulder into the danger zone. And a spoil by McLeod for, well, a throw in the forward pocket.
And he doesn't need a dose of that stuff the swimmers are on either to do a PB, do you, Roscoe?
No, that's right.
Just the plain old mineral water gets you fired up, son.
No more cake for you, Phil, as Alan Pridmore, our boss, said. The Lions. Out of defence.
Oh, too far. I tell you what, these umpires are spot on with the distances.
And
when I say they're spot on, they're very serious about how far you can run umpires these days. It's a bit of a problem. I think they must count the steps and double them.
So Murley looking into the sun. Can he see the lead from his teammate? He centres it.
Ooh.
Who's at front and square? Well, it's Peveril. Whips it out, looking for Condon. And he turns it over to that man Wilkinson. Good centering kick to Nickel. Now,
well, there was a famous Condon played with Coburg too in the 50s. Played over 150 games, I think. Johnny Condon, I think it was. He's related to be Nickel. I said tonight, Clinton, just before, he's a key player, this bloke, and Hill's got the job on him.
He's kicked
or he had it.
But his shots at goal, Phil, in that third quarter weren't that. Didn't leave the boot that well. Let's see how this one goes. Looks all right off the boot. Won't quite get the distance.
Ooh, just to the side.
Nor the accuracy.
We'll just see if Hill still has that job on Nickel. Keep an eye on that.
So a touch of
back. Or where has he gone? Has Nickel gone to the back half? And maybe we are looking into the sun here, so just give me a little bit of time to sort that out.
Okay, touch of symmetry in the scores, 11-11 to 9-9. McLeod's kick, well, he's made to look good by Hill, who punched it away. Williams the kick along the ground. Still a chance, though, for Coburg. Through midfield, now up towards centre-half forward, delivered onto the chest of Duncan. Too far out to score. Spies a lead, just pops it up. Goes over the head, though, well roved. Sutherland, snap, goal! Oh, boy! John Sutherland gets his second. And Coburg are out by 20 points now. 6 minutes gone last quarter.
Well, that was good play by the big bloke Duncan, wasn't it? Gave him something, kept the ball moving. Pretty smart play by the Lions. Into the midfield, that man Nunciato there, and Duncan. I'm right in saying Duncan, yes, and a nice left footer. But what were the Box Hill blokes doing? They were at sort of 6 and 7s, and Sutherland over the back on that trusty left boot, swinging it round.
Box Hill free kick. Umpire head finding one for the Mustangs. Nickel. Oh, high ball. Cleared by Hill for the Lions. Well, not very far at all. Banged back in by Aiello. Haberfield in trouble. Cook is a left footer if he can get some space. A high ball might have been Murley with a kick.
No!
I'm not really sure.
Gee, that's a goal and a half.
It's a great effort. It might be, well, no, it's Cook on his right foot, is it?
No, it wasn't Roscoe.
I'm right, Murley the first time.
Yes, Murley there kicking that goal. Well, I tell you what, those goals of that kind can really swing a game around because, you know, Box Hill should never have gotten out of this, Roscoe. Coburg should have been able to draw that ball out of bounds.
That could be goal of the year.
14 points.
Well, what a fabulous kick there by Murley. Now Box Hill, they get it going forward again. Bello to full forward. Coburg back. Kelly takes the mark. Hugs the grandstand side of the ground. Just want a couple of steady possessions here. They don't get it this time. Smothered. The little toe poke out. Kicked forward by Harton. Deep to full forward. Ooh. Oh, gee, had a man waiting back there in the square. The end result are behind. The margin 13 points now.
That was a bad mistake there by the Coburg player, giving the ball up. Could have cost them dearly. Alan Izzard would not have been happy there. 2 goals in succession. Nunciato there kicking out. Way down.
Oh, he's over the line, surely.
Well, look,
that's a cardinal sin.
But I don't understand why you just swing blokes around on kickouts. You've got to have specialist players.
Here it is again, over the line as he kicks it.
Players kicking out, I mean, long tradition of particular players in recent times kicking out, and then you get the wrong bloke to do it and you run into trouble.
So bounce on the line, that is a very technical decision. I guess it's correct, but I don't think it would have influenced the game. This might well, though. McLeod pushes it through for a rush behind.
Yes, well, the big Delarue tyre foot was over the line there, Roscoe.
So the margin down now to 2 goals.
We're talking about tyres. Helen Mirren last night in that show. Did you watch it, Roscoe?
No, what's the footage?
It was a thriller.
Talking about tyres, how does that get into it?
Gee, that was right on the line again. He's taking a risk. And Peveril very defensively knocks it over.
Now, it was the forensic evidence. It was the tyre that confirmed that Helen Mirren's husband was the said serial murderer. So I just thought of that when I saw the Delarue tie. So there you have it. Great show on the ABC. Better than the footy, I thought.
From the throw-in, Box Hill knock it down, running into some space. Caught. Disney. No, not holding the ball.
The ball, though, Clinton. Prior opportunity.
You would have thought so. McLeod, the left foot kick, should be marked. Is Wilkinson. Box Hill surging now. Down by just a couple of goals. They need a mark here, but Coburg all alone. McLeod.
Look, I don't say that because of Coburg. I couldn't care less. But the decisions, they've got to be right about those. Prior opportunity, if you don't kick it afterwards, it is holding the ball. It is as simple as that.
McLeod, Alessio, a long way from his customary post up forward. But he's done well there. Although the kick out wide, Sutherland there. Over for a throw-in.
10 minutes, final 2. Bit of interior decorating being done here by Clinton and Phil, adjusting the blinds. They've obviously never done a thing in their lives. Alessio in the middle. And so Alan Izzard, maybe Phil, would he be giving Alessio a run on the ball?
I'll just try to catch that, Ross. I've just gotten down off the ladder, fixing up the...
Where is that hierarchy?
We did need him, didn't we? Centre wing, Weston. The Lions up to half forward, deep into the pocket. Meeting it was Gilpin. Off the outside a bit, maybe by Totora. And just a minor score, but it could be important one. 13 points now, the margin now.
Just on, I think Alessio had drifted up the ground there. Wilkinson was still with him.
Behind to Sutherland.
There's our boxer. You can see the blinds. And Phil's just made them all nicely straight, shall we say. Box Hill bring it into play. It's tough to see with the sun setting on the other side of the ground. A good mark by Alessio over the top. Right on the wing, Coburg, about 18 minutes or so to go. They lead by 13 points. The short pass is good for Peveril. We'll try and get Mr. Stats to tell us how many stats he's had, up to 30 possessions or so, and this time it's a disposal which is perfect to Duncan. Peveril's had 22 possessions and 5 marks, and Duncan's taken the mark on his chest. Too far out to score, perhaps, against the Breeze, so they should have solid marking player down there. I see McLeod going back, although the way Brendan Duncan's lining this up, he fancies himself from right on the 50.
It's a neat kick.
Left foot. It's got the carry, but he's hooked it in trying to go for that extra distance. And he makes the margin 14 points with that behind. 12 minutes gone in the final quarter. We've had some good games this year, Ross, and another good one right here, and perhaps a thrilling finish coming up.
Only 3 goals in the second half so far to the Mustangs as Bello takes the mark in front of Williams. Hooks it in the direction of Slater. Well, He's the half forward. The bounce didn't favour him. Now he's got a chance. Throwing it on to boot was Murley. The Lions in there, but Box Hill have the numbers. Slater to Harton. High ball. 2 on 1. Nice roving by Nicol. Didn't hook it enough, the big fellow.
Full. Now, Duncan's gone to the forward line. Alessio appears to have a run in the ruck as we have a look at the crowd there.
Do you think Slater's at centre half forward having a rest?
Well, he's just gone. No, he's gone back to the back half, which would suggest he's back in the ruck at least now, Roscoe.
So Peveril's kick paddled along by Budge. They hugged the boundary line. Eventually, they're probably pretty happy to see it over for a throw-in on the outer side.
Well, Slater and Duncan are on each other, and Duncan has gone to the forward line, and Slater's gone back with him. Alessio taking the ruck now in front of our box.
Against Wilkinson, Williams comes down to lend support. He knocks it down. Murley takes it for Box Hill. Tranquilly from behind, fists it into space. Ezard will get there first, dives in on top, then shovels it out the back. Well tackled is Condon. There'll be a ball up. Phil, I guess it's always the danger for Coburg here not to try and run down the clock. We've only reached the 14-minute mark. They must stay positive.
Oh, yeah, well, and I think the moves, too, you know, they're trying to move players around, like putting Duncan to the forward half, Alessio in, so they're wanting to win the game, you know. I think they're pretty smart off the field tactically, the Coburg boys.
Williams, he's been amongst the play in this final quarter, gets the fist down there, and then he follows it up by squeezing a kick away towards the boundary line. They have the front running, picked up by Sirasis there. Well done. Little kick, that's good. They can try and set something up here. Now McCabe kicks Coburg inside 50. Gee, good mark there. Sutherland was late in on the scene, but it was a great grab.
50,
it was taken by Crowley.
Sorry.
No, in fact, it's Jenkins who's got it. So Jenkins, high kick up towards the wing. Tranquilly the target. Gee, good fist away. Working well, McCabe defensively. Ezard heads for the boundary line. No question, that's what he was trying to do. Achieves it. Throw in, centre wing outer side. Coburg by 14 points as we come up on halfway through this final quarter in the VFL match of the round.
Yes, 14-minute mark as well. The Mustangs through Heaney. The half forward, Nichols the target. But he's outmarked by McLeod. Oh, what a bit of push. No?
Yes, he's... No, decided against it.
What's your decision at home?
Well,
gee, a bit lucky. Anyway, play goes on.
Well, they're paying those, aren't they, Roscoe? If you push a player, you get penalised.
Except that time, Weston to Alessio in front of Slater. Alessio inside 50 over the head of Duncan, who was the target. Budge goes down.
Some of these marks are crucial because Coburg have had the run, had the chance to pinpoint a little better than they have, but the marks are very safe.
Jenkins short to Wilkinson, who sends a long torpedo, but off the chest of Kelly. That was a mistake by Coburg, but he was surprised by the length of that kill. It was a big kick, Phil.
Yes, he must have had the armour on there, Kelly, Roscoe, because that was a sitter, wasn't he? Couldn't quite spot the ball. It was a long, long kick, though. Big torpedo. You see the sun there over the back setting here at the Box Hill ground. Different camera angle today on ABC television. We are innovators in sport.
Coburg try to force it away. They do. McCabe, bouncing ball. Look at him streaming out. McCarty, good gather. Hasn't had too many touches today, but he does well there. The kick goes to the boundary line, and the bounce favours Sutherland. Suddenly, things going Coburg's way. Peveril, the handball over the top. It's been good running by McCarty. He still goes. Drives a kick towards the half-forward flank and sliding in. Sirasis to take the mark, and he's got it. And the Coburg fans, they're getting very excited. Now, the pass into the pocket. Gee, put Weston under the pump right alongside of the boundary line. Held to him. There'll be a ball up. 25 out from Coburg's goal.
Yeah, it's pretty hard to put one over. Mr. Quigley. He's been around. There's the coffee forward. Roscoe, I tell you what, you got a big job today. You just need to see whether you listen to Clinton and I when we try to pick the best player.
Just write down a few names. Any help will do. 14 points the margin. Box Hill need 3 goals to win, at the least. And they're in defence at the moment. 17 minutes. Time running out. It's been not a high-scoring game. Just 10 goals to Box Hill, 12 to Coburg. Duncan couldn't grab it, and that's on the full.
Gee, they're crucial, aren't they?
Sutherland will take the kick.
It's been an enthralling game, you know, this one. A lot of young players showing us their wares. Sutherland being good, 2 goals. Too far out. Well, he looked quite too far out, but it would have to be a miraculous kick to put this one through. You see the crowd on the terrace?
Yeah, you can see the 50-metre line just on the left of screen there. Breeze is straight in at his face. Sutherland across the face of goal, knocked through by Slater, a throw-in.
And Ross, interesting that Nunciato played in the back half in that second quarter, but in this, the fourth quarter, they've used Kelly in the back half, appearing to be loose, and it seems to have worked better for them, I think. Plus, they've moved Duncan around on the forward line, juggled Alessio. Of course, Johnny Murphy worked hard to cut some of those key players out too, so it's been a good tactical game, this one.
From the throw-in, the snap towards goal, and they'll force it through for a rushed behind. So it's 3 for Coburg. They're hanging on. 18.5 minutes gone to this final quarter. The margin is 15 points. Box Hill, John Murphy, their coach, told them at 3-quarter time the season is on the line. Ello's kick is marked by Williams. Oh, and his kick in turn touched off the boot. Weston gathers, hand pass away. Oh, your man Phil Sarasis kicks it across the face of goal, out of bounds on the full. Dear, oh dear. Yes. Could have put them away just about.
They would have been saying Oreo, I think, on the terraces, but
they get it back and they get a goal.
Wow.
What's Sarasis on screen if he's kicked the goal? I don't know.
They must have intercepted the ball there. We'll just see if we may not be able to spot that again. Something miraculous happened.
Alessio rivaling, getting his players G'd up, because that is a very handy lead now. The goal to Coburg of
Marcus Hill, maybe.
Yes,
points.
Hill kicking a goal. Well, it's interesting too, because Hill had the job on Nickel.
Oh, shit.
The margin 21 points. The umpire not happy with the bounce. Duncan gets the hand pass away and another hand pass away. So Coburg beginning to find things. Can Box Hill try and turn it around? Bellows' kick is good. Now they can try and set something up. The long kick forward.
Who's at the fall of the ball? Because it'll come down. Nothing happening. Izard cleaning up, giving it to Peveril. Non-preferred foot. Centres it. Bit dangerously. Up goes McLeod. Nice gather, Condon. Keeps it wide towards Sutherland. 2-on-1. Chance for Weston. Slight fumble. And Box Hill trying to take it over the line. In comes umpire Callaghan for the bounce. Bit of excitement on that Coburg bench with that lead, 21 points. And we're coming up to 21 minutes. Oh, Ezard jumps over Slater. The coach doing his best to get his side home for their second win. And then locking the ball in. Big effort this by the Lions. Now it's 21 minutes and the margin 21 points. Up goes Ezard again, leaping high to nullify Slater. Weston close to the line. Pushed as he kicked, but it was going out anyway, and the free kick going to the Mustangs.
I see McLeod's got the job on Nichols, so Coburg have made moves in this final quarter, Roscoe, trying to give themselves the ascendancy. I think they learned from the second quarter. They were too negative.
Porter, a high kick. They need to try and find some marks. Nickel can't take it. Williams had a good second half. Gets the hand pass back. Caught is Weston. Ball spills out, but they still have some time. Davidson, oh, that's a bit dubious, but he knocks it to Alessio nonetheless. Runs into trouble. Gets the hand pass back. Almost caught McLeod. Gets it back to Davidson. Oh, Sutherland said good night to his Box Hill opponent, and there'll be a throw in.
I think it might have been Jenkins that was sat on his backside.
Oh. Yeah, it was a fair income old-style shirt front. No doubt about that, Roscoe.
And play goes on because the trainers haven't called for the stretcher.
Now they're going to...
And still...
free to eat.
Here it is again.
Oh, it was high by Sutherland. Should have been a free. Or more.
Oh, well, gee, Ross, I mean, It's body on body, really.
I think it took him high, though.
It took him high, yeah.
Well, might have just fractionally, but I think the main force was actually in the chest where he collected him. But, you know, it's...
Anyway, 21 points the margin. Izzard, shorts on. Good into Western. Well, that's perhaps time wasting or something from David Aiello. But with the clock ticking down, 23 minutes nearly, and it's 21
them in from here, wouldn't you, Ross?
You would. In a low-scoring game.
But a good game, though. Pretty tight, a lot of pressure.
Now up comes Gilpin with a run at the ball. Slater's there too, but someone's brought it down. Not going to be paid the mark.
Look at the out players there. Slater claiming that it was a Box Hill mark.
Douglas looking for the mark. Not being paid. Slater's gone a bit quiet. Duncan, I'm impressed with his fight in the second half in the ruck after being beaten comprehensively in that second quarter. Slater nicely down with the reverse angle. Williams trying to pick it up. Bello, nowhere to go from Izzard. And good strength and body of the ball by Alan Izzard.
Oh, gee, hasn't he laid a lot of tackles, Roscoe, Alan Izzard? And that's a good gauge of a player's game, you know. He's always been in there, the 50-50s. He's got a line baller out of, or when they've had a chance, I should say, 60-40 against them, he's made it a line baller.
Forced over for another throw-in. 24 minutes gone now, final quarter. It'd be celebrations tonight in Coburg. If they can win 2 on the trot from the throw-in, they'll be more than happy with that. Was it a good party last Sunday night, Phil?
Oh, I went back for a little while. They're all pretty excited, yeah, indeed.
Well, this will mean a lot for the club, won't it? 2 in a row.
Oh, for sure. Haven't had 2 in a row since probably 1992.
Gee.
So,
Preston Knights next week, another winnable game. Although they've still got to get through the next 5 minutes. And Box Hill certainly won't lie down. It's over for another throw-in. Western seeing it over the line. The local Box Hill fans won't be overly thrilled by this.
No, I'm wrong. I think we've had it. They've probably had it 2 in a row since then, but been a while since.
From the throw-in,
impressive.
Overrun by Western, but they've just got 5 or 6 men around the ball. Western will take it over. He's bumped over. Crowley applied the bump.
Oh, that's nothing in that. You've just got to throw the ball in.
Crowd getting excited. Here's the throw-in. There we are, 25 minutes gone. Slater gives away a free. Duncan will take it. Coburg hanging on. They're using the clock nicely here to try and run down some time. Duncan, the left foot kick deep to full forward. They have 3 flyers there. Sutherland overruns it. Can Box Hill get away on a rebound? No, because a great tackle is applied. I think McLeod's applied the tackle on Heaney. McLeod flattened his back.
The tackling's been very good by Coburg, you know, when, again, there's another time where they might have lost possession or let Box Hill take the ball away, but they've collared them.
The winner of the game battle, number 9.
Haberfield around the corner for the Mustangs. 21 points the deficit. Murley first there, taking it over the line in front of McCabe. So John Murphy will be disappointed with this finish by the Mustangs with, as he said, their season on the line. 92-71, just 1 goal in the term with what a very slight breeze there is. It's the Lions showing most of the fight. Sarasis sends in a nice little pass looking for Gilpin. Over the back, big Slater. Harton's there as well, but he switches play out towards Porter. Chased by Sutherland. Porter likes that left foot, kicks to half forward. The race is on. Aiello there, and first there, McCarty for the Lions. Bit of a leg, no, Nickel wrapping it underneath himself. Out of bounds. 26.5 minutes, final term. The Lions lead by 21.
See Robbie Evans, the Coburg president, there on the terrace just at the back, not in that little cluster there, but he's feeling the pressure. Of course, done a big job, Robbie Evans, 1989 premiership player.
From the bounce, Ezard, Ablett style, takes it. The hand pass towards the line. Weston is there. Loops a hand pass over the top. Wilkinson takes it for the Mustangs, but he's kicked. He's got no one home. Davidson takes the mark for Coburg. They'll hug the boundary line on that grandstand side. He does. A pack of players there, goes through Sutherland. Slater takes it. Hand pass off to Douglas. High ball to the middle. Coburg will get there first. Through the arms, though, of Williams. They have several players there. Bello was bowled over. Coburg, oh, that was almost a throw. Nonetheless, they'll get away with it. Douglas, the good hand pass out. The Lions have got this one now. The kick towards half forward. Well weighted. Marcus Hill takes the mark. He's 55 metres out. Centering ball is good. Douglas has got it. And from 55 out, oh, he's going to keep short. Oh, and Box Hill take it through Douglas. It was Duncan, now Douglas. Gee, it's you take over, Ross.
The Lions looking great. What a win it'll be for them. 21 points. Douglas kicks to the unmarked Andrew Nicol. Over the second half. At half forward. Tired looking kick. Haberfield, suspect looking hand pass. Taken by Georgiadis, bangs towards goal.
Good goal.
And gets it. That's his first, and he would have liked many more. And a late goal to Box Hill, but I think time's run out for them.
Well, it was a good goal by Georgiadis. So you see the ball gets inside 50. Keep the pressure on Coburg there. Not able to stop the tackle or stop the flow on that occasion. Georgiadis there, pushing on. The Box Hill boys hoping they're still in with a chance.
Get the bounce up, Kate.
Yes, we come up on 29 minutes gone. They'll need a couple of quick centre clearances. We've had 5 goals kicked in this final quarter, so you'd suggest not much more time left. Slater comfortably knocks it down, but Ezard is there. And again, that's about the 5th or 6th time today. Alan Ezard is headed for the boundary line with his kick, and Weston will see it over for a boundary throw-in.
I suppose he could have given Weston a bit of a chance there. He went a little bit too negative, but boy, he's been a good player. He's probably in the 30 possession mark, I think, Roscoe, is it?
Yep.
And flying at the boundary is phenomenal.
Weston, the hand pass over the top. Sarasis the kick to forward line. Sutherland on 50 takes the mark wisely, just winds it down. Takes his time because the siren is imminent. 29.5 minutes gone. He brings it inside and short for Davidson. Coburg by 15 points. Back to Sutherland.
Doing an Essendon here.
Yeah.
Holding onto the football.
Just running it down. Sutherland's played well today. 2 goals, 2. One vital one early in this last quarter. Here's the stats. 10 possessions and 4 marks. And now he pops it up to full forward, hoping for a fly from behind. Douglas from Box Hill knocks it away. Harton overruns it. This is Slater. Should concede a behind and does. That'll give Box Hill the ball back. And it will stop the timer, but it's past 30 minutes now.
Yes, they've got to kick 3 goals. Don't they? What is it, 16 points?
Yep.
Would seem too much. Big torpedo by Wilkinson.
And that's where they should have gone earlier this quarter, straight down the middle. But who else but Alan Ezard would be fitting if the siren sounds now. He sees a loose man out wide. How laconic was that? Delivers it onto the chest of Williams. And another pass is perfect. Sarasis, the short pass again. Gee, they're even looking good here as Alessio marks. And he might have a shot for goal. The margin is 16 points. Dying to know who Ross has selected, along with yourself, Phil, for the man of the match. I wasn't included in discussion today, so...
Well, what do you mean today?
Well, Alessio, too, has been pretty handy. Probably one of his biggest games, but I tell you what, how many marks, Paul? Quite a few? 6 marks?
You don't consult me now.
Still not a bad game by Alessio. 11 kicks and 6 handballs, including 6 marks in amongst that. And he could finish this off with a goal from out just under the 50 mark, just in range.
Hasn't kicked a goal today. On the siren. He's missed, but they celebrate anyway. Coburg win 2 in a row. They won 1 match last year. Aside from last week, they were winless this year. But in the match of the round, they pull out their 2nd win in succession. They came from behind to beat Port Melbourne by 2 points last week, and today have won by 17 points after trailing by 3 points at half-time. There's the final, 13-16-94 to 11-11-77. The coach of Coburg, Alan Ezard, on screen, delighted as you would expect. So Coburg moved to 2 wins and 3 losses this season. Box Hill a 1 win and 3 losses. And Phil, they're equal on points, equal 4th, the Lions at the moment.
Well, it was a big win by them. You know, they struggled in the second quarter, but I tell you what was really important, I reckon, Clinton, was that in the final quarter they rectified the mistakes they made in the second quarter, both tactically and in terms of the way they approached the ball, I reckon. That's my opinion in terms of the tactics. I think they got them better in the 4th quarter. That's a big win. And the little bloke, Alan Izard, who, as I said, started his career here, Clinton, played the first half of the season and was picked up by Essendon midway through the year to go on and play in three or four grand finals there. Played a remarkable game today. I think at 35, I think he really led the way. For Box Hill, look, they were good too, but they just fell away in that second half when they had some opportunities and then couldn't finish it off. They seemed to stop Western early, and Johnny Murphy did the job, and you see it there. Box Hill, only those 2 goals in the final quarter. Coburg kicking 3. Bad second quarter by Coburg, but, gee, great second half of football.
No question. There's the goal scorers. Gilpin kicked 4 goals in the end. 2 in the first quarter, 2 in the second half. 2 to Sutherland, who played well. Nicol and Cook, the only multiples for Box Hill. Again, Box Hill without it.
Yes.
I mean, Nicol now their leading goal scorer for the season. 6 goals in 4 games, their leading goal scorer.
Well, he looked like he was going to be the key player in that third quarter for early on, and then I thought maybe in the last quarter, but Coburg again made a move. They switched McLeod onto him, so they got in early before he was able to take over. So it was a big performance. And Roscoe, I know you're there with an excited Coburg team. Did you get the right fella this time?
Well, we didn't consult Clinton, but if we had, he would certainly have voted for Alan Izard, clearly best on ground today. Well done, Alan. Firstly, Superintendent Warren Murdoch from Victoria Police has the Vic Safe tanker.
Yeah, congratulations on the fine gain, and on behalf of Vic Safe, I present the Vic Safe Award.
Thank you. Thanks for that.
Thanks, Warren. And Tony Barcelona from Coffee Ford has some keys, Alan.
Well done. On behalf of Coffee Ford, hope you enjoyed driving our car for a week.
No, we'll test it out anyway, mate.
Good on you.
Thanks, Tony. And well done, Alan. 2 wins for the season, a great start for the Lions.
Yeah, well, you know, we're slowly building up a club spirit there, and you know, last week was a big turning point for the club to come from behind last week, and you know, we were sort of in the same boat today, kicking against a fairly strong breeze, and the boys Critter really dug deep and really worked their backsides off.
And at 35, how do you feel after today? You've been like a lot of possessions.
Like a 35-year-old should feel at the moment. I'll be getting a wheelchair later and pushed home. So, you know, it has been fairly physical over the last 2 weeks, and the body's starting to take a little bit of toll. But, you know, I'll go for a swim on Monday and hopefully recharge the batteries up again.
I heard you saying this morning you got through the year, you might even play again next year.
I think you've been hearing things, I think, Ross.
No, I heard you say that on radio this morning.
Oh, no, look, you've got to weigh it up at the end of the year. You know, it's a funny game, footy. Some weeks you feel well, some you don't. So, you know, I've just got to reassess, and hopefully the body can stand up just for the rest of this year. That's all I'm worried about.
Terrific. And you've got home game next week against the old rivals, Preston.
Yeah, well, you know, a bit of rivalry between the 2 clubs, being out the northern suburbs, and you know, hopefully the boys will get a bit of confidence from that, and hopefully we can string another win together.
Well done, Alan. Alan Izard, the coach of the Coburg Lions, and all your players are waiting there. Alan, you better go and say well done.
Right, thanks, Ross.
Well done.
A pretty happy bunch, as you would expect. Ross Booth with our Vic Safe man of the match, and Alan Izard, the comfortable choice. Phil, what a game. Coburg doing well there. I must say, at 3-quarter time, given what we had seen, the trend of play to that right-hand side of the screen, the way that the goals had all been scored that way, I didn't think they could hang on.
Well, look, I would imagine that Alan said to them, remember last week, because they came home kicking, 3 goals down roundabout, and they got up. But look, can I just say with Alan Izard, it's a remarkable performance, you know, to think that the bloke played in the league, played in a big side, yes, and he comes back at a critical time in the club's future, and he's really leading the way. And I think it's a great footy story, that, you know, and that's what the great game's made up of those traditions. And this is where the VFL hopes it can pick up those blokes and then blend the young and be a good side. But look, they were good. There's no doubt about it. I mean, I'm not wrapping up because I actually had a long association. When you just look at it objectively, it was a great win. Box Hill had their chances. They fought back. Johnny Murphy did his homework early. He tied up Western. He tied up Izard. He got Slater to start winning the things he said they should do. They did right. But then Coburg took it away from them, you know, in that third quarter. And some blokes came into it. As I said, there were a couple that had to lift again. And see, Duncan came back into the game. And Hill had a job on Nicol. And Izard kept going. And Weston came back into the game. And Alessio. And so that's what won the game.
And how good was Peveril today? The youngster, wasn't he fantastic?
It's terrific too, you know. We know about him being on a league list with Brisbane and doing some big things. He got a beautiful run run at the ball, a lovely gait. See, some of those blokes, haven't got complete control of their bodies yet. You know, they're 18 and 19, they're at times they look a bit unorthodox, but as they get better, they'll be good. This is one of the great things about the competition, that we've got lots of young kids, but we've got experienced players there as well, and it's a good grounding place for footballers.
And conversely for Box Hill, we saw Brett Harton played well for them today, but now they won their opening match of the season against Port Melbourne. They've now dropped 3 on the trot with the bye. They've fallen behind. They've got some problems, haven't they?
Well, look, Nicol, Wilkinson and Slater, Crowley, Heaney, Porter should be going on and being match winners. I'll tell you something interesting, and Johnny Murphy can think about this. At the end of the game, Porter ran up the race. He ran off the ground, number 15, and ran up the race. If I was coaching and a bloke ran off the ground like that and straight up the race, I'd be wondering what he's up to.
Yeah.
I mean, he should be thinking about his teammates. One in, all in. If you lose, you stick with your mates. You don't run off the ground like, you know, you're special. Yeah. That's a bad sign.
Yeah, and Tranquilli as well, he was quiet.
Well, he had a job to do, you know, and he failed against Izard in the first quarter. That's life. Yeah. Sometimes you win them, sometimes you don't. And then he tried to resurrect his game. Didn't quite work for him. That's footy, you know.
Let's have a look at some of the highlights from the final quarter. Coburg, gee, it was a good last quarter too. They were against the breeze. Everyone thought they'd be in trouble. Now let's have a look at a couple of their goals. And this first one, Gilpin, he kicked 4. And, gee, it really got them set up for that final quarter.
Well, Nunziato too, Clinton, just talking about tactically, they had him in the back half in the second quarter. I don't reckon it worked. And I think I'm borne out here in the fact that in the last quarter he wasn't there. I think they had Kelly playing in the back half loose, and that was it. And Gilpin there was great. And Sutherland, gee, I liked him too, you know. And see Duncan drifting right down onto the forward line and swinging around, or having Alessio come up at times. So they're moving and using a tactical manoeuvre there. And Sutherland there banging one through on the left boot. Look, when the game's got to be won, you got to kick those.
Yeah.
You know, you just got to kick them. And here, I think Murley actually gets on the end of this goal.
Well, this is Cook initially, the hand pass away, and look at that. I mean, that's the impossible angle, isn't it? Everyone talks about that.
That was the classic impossible angle, the remarkable goal, the Peter Dacos. You know, it could lift you, and Georgiades finishes it off, you know, but just not quite right, Box Hill. And I think Johnny Murphy, this Georgiades kick, Johnny Murphy would be saying to a few blokes there, you blokes should be winning the game for us. Kicks,
last quarter, Coburg, that was pretty line ball, the kicks at three-quarter time. And you look at it, the handballs extra 21, kicks extra 23, 44 more possession for Coburg in the end, and the hit-outs even balanced up a little bit late.
But just on that, they should have got more out of their hit-outs, Box Hill, and they didn't. And Slater did the right thing for them, but they didn't make use of it.
Let's go back to Ross Booth, another interview standing by. Roscoe.
Thanks, Clinton. Yes, well, we've got Rick Media Star, Herald Sun today and ABC today. Damien Peverill on the wing. Well done.
Yeah. Thank you.
So for those people that don't read The Sun, tell us a bit about your background.
Last 3 years with the Collier Cannons in VSFL, and this year decided to come to Coburg. Play best football I can, so...
Yeah, it's gone all quiet here, but I tell you, it was like a grand final here just a moment ago.
Sensational.
And who are your opponents today?
I played on Tranquilli for the last half, and Dunno for the first half.
OK, that doesn't really matter, so congratulations on the win, and I'm glad you're enjoying the VFL. Well done, Damien.
Thank you.
Terrific. OK, here's a couple of old stages now. Anthony Lesso, come in, Ant. Vinny Taranto here, and Anthony Lesso been around the club for, well, all the time. ABC's been covering the VFL, which is, we're now in our 11th year. Now, one of you, both of Italian instruction, one of you got a message for the supporters for next Saturday against Preston?
In English?
No, Italian.
Italian. Ok, tutti i genti di Coburg, venite a guardare Coburg contro Preston next week alla sabato, comprato da Franco Cozzo!
Hey, what did he say, Vinny? What did he say? That was fantastic, and well done. It was like a grand final here, wasn't it? Great emotion.
It was. I can't think of the last time we won 2 in a row. It's just a great feeling around the club. I've got it together upstairs in the administration, and hopefully we'll get it together on the field.
Now, Phil, the record did say that Ryan Gilpin looked like Rock Hudson. Where is he? Here he is. It's Alan Izzard's fault. So 4 goals, well done.
Yeah, thank you. I don't know where that come from anyway.
I think you might be stuck with it now, but well done on the 4 goals. And really happy times here down in the Coburg rooms.
Thank you. He's magnificent. He's foreign correspondent for Oscar.
He sure is. And Anthony Alessio has a good talent too. And I won't translate for you, but I think you can work out that he was saying to all you Italians, turn up at the ground next week. Coburg and Preston too, in the heart of Italia.
It'll be a fantastic game. And I think Franco Cozzo, I'm sure he got a mention at the end.
He's got a store in the Sydney Road at Brunswick, I tell you.
Let's have a look at what else is coming up this weekend in terms of VFL matches. Some good games coming up tomorrow. Williamstown and Sandringham, Port Melbourne and Werribee, Bendigo and Frankston and Preston and North Ballarat. That match is at Coburg. Springvale have the bye. And as we just heard from Anthony, for all of those of you who don't speak Italian, Coburg and the Preston Knights, our feature match from Coburg next week. Phil, thanks very much for your company today. I know you enjoyed it. It'll be party time in Coburg tonight. Thanks to Ross Booth and all of the team. What a win. Coburg, they're back 2 in a row. A great day here at Box Hill City Oval. That's it from us. Bev, I hope you enjoyed the match. Back to you.
Thank you to the Franco Cozzos of the commentary world, and a terrific call, a terrific match in Coburg. I don't know, a bit of bias creeping in. We've got Coburg again next week.